Yeah, don't ask Chris for the recap this week. I shouldn't have asked last week. I got to learn from that.
Yeah.
Oh man, how's everybody doing?
Good. I have a huge announcement to make, and you guys should all be very relieved for me. And it is that I finally got through all of campaign 1 of Critical Role.
Nice. How many episodes?
There's 115 in that one.
115. Yep.
And I've watched campaign 2 previously.
Mm-hmm.
So now, if I choose to watch the one shots, that's fine. But I just feel it's a wonderful week because I feel open to watch other content.
Quite an accomplishment.
Yes. It's so foolish, but I'm a bit of a completionist.
Mm-hmm.
So even in moments where I wasn't feeling like watching it, I was like, I got to get through this. It's always been good. It's just a matter of like, okay. And it's not like I was sitting there watching. I mean, I would just be.
I was almost the exact opposite. I saw how many episodes and I'm like, oh my God, this is going to take me forever. I want to do this.
I do think the good thing about it though is you could just watch a few episodes and it's just a good time and then never watch any more of it. You don't really have to like watch the whole thing. But it's a podcast too, so I listen to a lot of episodes that way where if it wasn't, I don't know if I could have gotten through it as quickly because that's how I would like go grocery shopping and throw my headphones on and walk to the store and stuff like that. It's like so much of that.
Were you paying attention? Like, is it good enough that you paid attention to the entire thing with the same amount of energy, or were you kind of like, okay, I have to get through this part? Or
there was never a part where there was never a part in either campaign where I felt like it was the content's fault that I was having a hard time. It's just that 4 hours of one thing sometimes is a lot.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what it is. I mean, I guess it would be like if they're in the middle of some bit of combat that's taking a long time that I'm just like, okay, I don't, that can be like, all right, whatever. But,
Is it cheating to fast forward?
I don't know. It's the same. You could ask the same thing about any other story, I suppose. I will tell you,
he just cranks it up to 1.5 speed.
Yeah.
And
yeah. I tried that with. I just tried that recently. I think it was with Matt Colville, who already talks fast, and I can't do it. I like to hear I just can't do it. I can't do the 1.5 stuff. A lot of people do.
I usually do 1.25.
I can't. I have to do it at this whatever I'm listening to. A lot of people do that with podcasts in general. It's like whatever they're listening to.
For all the Adventure Zone episodes, like I've listened to, I think all of them at this point, and I'm caught up on their new one. I usually listen to it at 1.25 because otherwise, my trip home leaves me hanging on like 6 or 7 minutes of the episode, and I'm like, damn it, like come on. So then I just gotta I'm not gonna wait a day to listen to the final 6 or 7 minutes. So if I listen to 1.25, I always get through the episode.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because they're just about an hour. They usually run about an hour. So
you don't sit in your car like a weirdo for the last 6 or 7 minutes. It's like,
I mean, I have, but I don't know why you have to bring that up. Like,
because I do that.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. I do that all. I don't have to sit in my car, but I definitely I'll walk in, and normally when I'll be like, instead of just like taking my headphones off and like engaging with my wife, I'll like, I'm listening to this. I'll just like be putting groceries away and be like, I can't talk to you for 10 minutes. You know what I mean?
So I have a weird, awkward, like dead spot for about the last 10 minutes of my drive.
In Maine?
Yeah. Can you go figure?
Weird.
Rural cell phone reception that spotty? Seriously?
So weird.
So what I basically like when I wasn't listening to it fast enough, I would get off the highway, I would start driving home, and then I'd have to pause it at a certain point and then wait until I got home and sat next to the house where I reconnected to the Wi-Fi, and then I could listen to the last few minutes of the episode. So
nice.
Yeah, so 1.25 is my solution. That fixes all of that. Yeah,
you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah,
I get it. I will say the last episode. I don't know if anybody's watched. I don't know, Jeremy, if you've watched through campaign 1 at all, but I will say the last session that they played in campaign 1, and without saying it in case anybody ever watches it, some of the most incredible content I've ever seen. Absolutely powerful, and also from a tactical standpoint, and the development and all the seeds planted along the way over the course of years that culminated. And it's not just Matt Mercer; it's just the way the players, incredible stuff, incredible stuff.
Yeah.
So that's my endorsement.
They're pros.
Yeah, for sure. But Sam Riegel, I was always like, I love Sam. I think he's funny. I think he's a great player. But then that last episode, I was like, holy shit.
Whole other level.
Yeah. But that's it.
Yeah. Whole other level.
I could talk about it just because I just finally finished. I could talk about it forever, but I won't because I would like to play D&D.
Where do you go from here? Do you go to the next? Is there a third one?
Well, they are in the middle. They just started their third one. I've been watching, but I'm watching the Battle for Beyond now, which is like just a 6-episode stream. It's pretty fun. It's like got a Bria Iyengar who did some Critical Role stuff. And Brendan Lee Mulligan, who's great, and some other people that are just like from around other. It's a D&D Beyond little short arc, and it's kind of fun. It's the premise is it's almost like Bloodsport. There's like a clandestine tournament, and the prize is they get to change one mistake from their past if they win. But I mean, I'm on like the second one, but
I mean it's a pretty crazy prize.
Yeah, and it's cool as shit. And these guys are all super professional. Like Brendan Lee Mulligan is like I think his channel is Dimension 20, and he has like a lot. He's a pretty big deal in the whatever YouTube streaming D&D community or whatever, among others. But I don't know, who knows. I'm halfway through a bunch of other streams too that I probably will never finish. Dungeons of Drakkenheim, the Dungeon Dudes, the Curse of Strahd, the Twice Bitten, and I saw so many. My wife was sick of me actually complaining because I said I finished, and I go, I don't know what else to start. I keep starting different ones, and she's like, I couldn't care about anything less. But you're telling me you have problems picking which content you're gonna do. And I'm like, why is this a conversation we're having? You know what I mean? Yeah, I get it. You're growing a person. This, even without that would be an awful thing to listen to. She asked me if I put anything on the registry, and I'm like, let me tell you about real problems.
I'm really jammed up on which stream and podcast.
Yeah, like I want to start Chain of Acheron with Matt Colville, but I know they don't actually finish the campaign because so I'm like, I don't know, like if it's worth like 30 episodes of my time. She's like, I think she's gonna divorce me over this. Yeah. Good run.
All right. Well, I think we got everybody. Chris will not be starting out the recap for today, but who else would like to step up and start it off? Anyone?
I think it's Delyaries' turn.
All right.
I really don't have very many notes from last week.
I have a few notes. They're not. They're like kind of like a caveman wrote it, but I'll try. Let me see what I think I got that. We were originally decided to head to Rockwood.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were like figuring out how we can sneak out of the rope trick. I think Chiron did the best sneak with turning into a spider and crawled out last, I believe. We had a little bit of trouble in the middle with Nova and Koli, I think, had a little bit louder experience of getting out, but nobody got discovered, I don't think, up to that point. But what we did see is we saw Dumple, who was kind of out by a rock that was when we were trying to escape. And then Ward decided to transform into Zook to try to fool him. And it confused him. It didn't quite fool him. We were, especially because he saw the rest of us. And so
you were looking for just causing a moments of hesitation, like
yes.
moment of confusion, and your disguise was definitely good enough to do that.
Yes.
But not really a whole lot more.
Exactly. And it didn't help that there was a Goliath behind the rock tallying Dumple. Don't believe those guys. So that didn't really work out for us. But let's see what else happened. So they started attacking us first. They aimed at me, and then chivalrous Koli kind of grabbed me and pushed me out of the way and took the hit for me. And then I think Nova helped. I don't remember if Nova actually helped him with or offering to help with some to revive his hit points. Whatever happened, I think basically in that time, Chiron was transforming into a spider and crawling out of the rope trick, and then that battle sort of continued to ensue. I think that's where I stopped writing notes, so I was probably getting really to it.
That's good. Point. Anybody else want to jump in and finish up the recap?
One of the main notes that I have is Delyaries did not call out for me from the fog, just Koli, parentheses, rude.
Yeah, that's true. That's
perfect.
Very fair.
Yeah, so there was a bit of confusion, right? Kind of at that first round of combat went through, and then Chiron ended up summoning some ice methods, one of which dropped a fog cloud in the middle of this whole mess, which kind of I don't know if it really benefited anybody, but it definitely created a lot of confusion, which might have been good.
Was it helpful? Was it not helpful? Nobody really knows.
We don't really know. But
you can't really say. Nobody can really
say. Literal fog of war.
But it definitely it definitely changed the dynamic of that fight. And yeah, of course, Delyaries was helpful in guiding Koli out. Only Koli out. Koli, you have anything to add to this?
I picked up Dumple and dragged him out of the fog.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Threw him over my shoulder, and I think at that point the cloud had dissipated a little bit. I was able to get to Delyaries, called for Nova, and then we all regrouped.
Someone remembered her.
Yeah,
so that's good.
Trying that chain reaction, telephone. I'll call you, you call her, somebody call Chiron.
And then we were able to make our way north, where we were pursued, but I think, the weather got too harsh where they couldn't keep up with us.
Mm-hmm.
And then we found ourselves in front of a cave with an old forge, looked like a dwarven forge. And then we made,
Yeah, my note was Levi saw some wild ass dwarven forge thing outside, and we took cover in a wacky cave of mirrors.
That's pretty good.
Ice cave.
Yep.
And then and then Ward got poisoned.
Yeah, because I got the last 2 daggers off Dumple, but I didn't stop the poison. Yeah, and I did cast rope trick for an hour because I wanted to stay true to this newfound identity that I've.
How about Chiron? You got anything to add to?
Yeah, I'm still pretty notably sick.
Oh, that's right. Shit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Didn't you puke?
Yeah, puked bile, basically. I'm pretty sick. And I was trying to get to Koli to heal me of this sickness, and then this whole chicanery went down earlier. So you guys are just kind of ignoring me. / I haven't really told you.
Well, we saw it.
You threw it by yourself.
Well, we saw the Druidcraft sunflower wilt. That was what we saw. That's the only thing we really saw.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I don't know that I would know what that means.
Well,
I puked in the rope trick, but also in the cave.
Yeah.
At the end.
I think we saw it in the cave.
Saw the cave.
But then I passed out, and it's there's been so much going on that we haven't been able to probably process whatever we have seen. We probably haven't been able to process it because we've been trying to escape from your fog and trying to wonder if you're gonna turn into Argor and kill us.
Trying to figure out why Delyaries hates Nova.
Yeah.
Sad about.
Glad she's not there to hear it.
Awesome. All right. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. I think the only thing that I have to add, and I actually is that Dumple is tied up with Delyaries' spider silk rope. He is currently unconscious, has been disarmed of 8 different daggers, 3 of which were poisoned in some way, 2 of which were safely handled, 1 was not, which is why Ward is currently unconscious. And we've got a few levels of exhaustion spread throughout the party. Chiron's got 1, Nova's got 1, and Koli has 2. And this is from overexerting themselves over this terrain and the cold that they've been dealing with this storm. So, but rope trick is currently in effect. Ward is unconscious, but his spell does not require concentration. So that spell remains, and it is. I have 3 feet up in the air. Is the distance from the floor that I have from the note.
I feel like out of combat that would be my default, like something we could just sort of hop into.
Okay. All right. So you have an hour before that rope trick spell dissipates. So do you spend that hour within that safe little pocket dimension to recover for a short rest, or do you explore a little bit more? You are within this kind of like frozen cave of faceted walls.
I think Flux would feel fairly safe without jumping in rope trick and want to stay on the lookout. I'd probably give Levi a little chat. Maybe let him warm up, say do some circles around the forge, exhaust, warm up a little bit, but then go find a little place to hunker down, look out, keep an eye out, report back if you see anyone approaching. Okay.
Levi looks at you, and if a bird could scowl, he would, but he heeds what you said, and he does take off outside into the storm. You're assuming that he'll probably do a couple passes, but he won't be able to do a whole lot more than that because of the winds and the cold. But he'll kind of scout the area a little bit and then find a safe place to hunker down. So he will do that. Anybody else?
I'm just unconscious, right? Poisoned?
Yes. Yeah.
So you guys are just gonna let me sleep. That's great.
Delyaries is gonna ask who is not unconscious, I guess. I mean, I know Chiron is.
Oh, I'm the only one.
Only Ward.
Okay.
Is
I fell over.
Yeah.
I think Delyaries is just gonna kind of ask the group. She pulls out one of those Chiron goodberries and she says, "Does anybody know what this does, and can this help any of our poisoned friends?"
Flux says,
Chiron?
I guess, yeah. Would Chiron know? I think that I probably would, but I'll let you, because those are wards.
Those are wards. You know that wards, good berries generally provide 1 hit point worth of healing, and will feed you for a day.
Do I know that that's a Chiron frosted goodberry?
Looking at it, you would see that it is a Chiron frosted goodberry, which may have other effects.
Yeah, so I know that Chiron has seen in the past some dubious effects from Chiron frosted goodberries.
Yes.
Okay, so Delyaries, that can be helpful, but tread lightly. If you're a gambler, go ahead.
Yeah, after the stuff we've been through, I'm not sure I feel like gambling with this group. She just kind of takes the berry and just kind of slowly puts it back in her sack.
With a short rest, can I recover from exhaustion? I assume not.
No, that is a long rest. Is necessary. Yeah.
those good berries only last 24 hours, so I don't know if it's been 24 hours since I've given them out, but I wasn't keeping track of that. So
I think it's fine. Yeah,
sure.
It's now a rotten.
We've had them for a while. We've had them for a while. I would say this is probably the last day that it's good. Like probably when you wake up tomorrow, that
Jeremy says it's fine. You should take it. Oh, it was a rotten one.
So you're saying it's going to rot in my bag.
I can tell you that there is a very high percentage that it's rotten based on the last time that Ward cast the spell and the influence he had at the moment.
Nice.
Yeah, I believe it's. Believe he made 9 of them or 8 of them.
Yeah,
and the chances of them not being good berries is quite high. So can tell you
takes
that.
the berry back out of the thing and looks at the mold on it and just kind of tosses it in the corner of the room.
Get away from me.
Yeah, I don't want to carry this thing around.
You see a small like furry lizard kind of make its way out of one of the cracks of this cave and like goes over to it and takes a couple nibbles and sniffs it and takes a couple more nibbles and then looks at you and then falls over.
Glad I got rid of that thing.
How about Nova? What are you doing?
So I healed Chiron at the end of the last session.
Mm-hmm.
How does he look?
I did apply that healing, so I have 54 hit points. How do I look? Do I look green?
He looks tired and sick, but as far as like his physical body, he looks like he's in pretty good shape for the age Goliath that he is.
Do I have any ginger ale in my pack?
Some saltines.
Maybe a 7-Up. No. I think I'm gonna just find a place to sit and hang out.
Okay, so you're not going to use the rope trick. Because I think this would be hilarious if Ward woke up and no one is in the rope trick. I think that would be absolutely hilarious. Everyone's just sitting around on the floor around it.
Is everybody outside? If everybody's outside, I'm not going to sit in the rope trick with. Is Ward in the rope trick?
No,
not unless
on the floor.
Not unless somebody's put him in.
We walked into the cave. I took daggers off the thing, passed out, and now everybody's just standing around talking like nothing happened. This is what's going on. Just to be clear,
you're fine. Like you're breathing. You're fine. You're like alive.
We have 2 clerics.
We all know what happened.
That's a very Nick. It's a very Nick comment right there.
Yeah.
It's like someone needs to take care of me now.
I'm just setting the scene.
We're just stepping over his body, just kind of walking past him.
I'm imagining, like you maybe like Delyaries has maybe done this twice already. Just completely ignoring him. Like she's kind of going to everybody like, should I eat this? It looks a little bad. Oh, never mind. And you turn back around, walk over him, and then toss it in the corner. Flux has stepped over him to go talk to Levi, sent him out into the storm, and then he walks back over Ward. Like he's just a speed bump on the road of progress to all of you right now.
How big is Ward?
He's human, human size,
6 feet tall.
So yeah.
Like,
Okay. Yeah, I think you're too big for me to like prop up in the corner. I have a -1 strength.
I imagine you want to be helpful, so you start to like roll him, and then you realize if you do that, he's going to end up like on his face on this ice floor. So maybe that's not great.
Yeah,
I'm just moaning. I'm like passed out, but I'm every time as you do that, I'm like,
Chiron would like to approach Koli.
Okay.
And
Approach away.
Slowly.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna take like
Hide with a knife.
a handkerchief. I'm gonna reach actually into like into my coat, really under my armor, and pull out something really quickly. It's a handkerchief, and I'm gonna just dab at my mouth, wipe that bile off of my mouth, and then I'm gonna say,
It's been like 3 hours. You haven't wiped your mouth yet?
no, I just puked here.
Oh,
You just did, yeah.
Yeah, just puked here. And I'm gonna say, cleric, I'm sick. And it appears our ranger friend is not doing well either. Let us retire to the rope trick, the three of us, where we'll convalesce.
okay.
Just like whatever, weirdo.
Yeah.
Okay, can you help us?
I may be able to. If you can get him up there, I'll see what I can do.
Okay, I'd like to try to
That wasn't
go to
supposed to
Ward
rhyme.
and pick him up and get into the rope trick with Ward in my
Okay.
arms like a
Yeah,
baby.
I think with your height and your Goliath strength, you're able to easily cradle
Awesome.
Ward like the tiny little baby that he is, and step into the rope trick window and set him down in the corner of the pocket dimension and climb in after. So
I'd like to
you,
say that I did this in a nurturing way. Can I say that? I'm happy to roll for it, by the way.
yeah, roll medicine.
Okay.
Just
What's he
here.
doing? What's he doing? He's looking me over.
Yeah.
9.
Oh,
All right, that's
no.
not terrible. So I would say that your nurturing way is perhaps that of the Goliath. Like your upbringing might have been a little bit more harsh than most. You know that Ward's upbringing was pretty harsh, right? He lost his parents when he was very young. You know that his uncle is quick to throw daggers as a test whenever they meet. So maybe that's in the kind of the back of your mind when you haphazardly kind of like grab him underneath his shoulders instead of like grabbing like legs and arms and picking him up with both. You kind of like just grab him with one and you just kind of stuff him through the window into the rope trick where he crumples and kind of folds up, and then you just kind of roughly push him up against one of the one of the walls. You certainly care for Ward, but you're not very careful with his body. Like that's what I would say.
As you sling me,
like. Yeah.
as you're like sort of like slinging me around, you hear me sort of mumbling somewhat incoherently under my breath, or as much as like weakly.
All right.
Oh.
So Ward and Chiron are now in the rope trick. Koli, are you following? Okay, so Koli is into the rope trick. As that happens, Nova and Delyaries, are either of you also climbing in?
Is the rope trick temperature controlled, or is it also cold in there?
It's a pocket plane. I would imagine I'll let Jeremy make the ruling, but I would imagine that it's protected from the elements at least. It's not like.
Yep. I would say that it is simply like the room temperature of whatever Ward thinks as comfortable. Like when he casts the spell, he's casting
a little
it
chilly.
as-
It's a little chilly.
So it might be cold to some, it might be too warm for others, but it's certainly more comfortable than this cave.
What if Ward's like an old lady and he like has the thermostat super cranked high?
Oh my god.
That's great. And rope trick's only for an hour. It was mostly just as a precautionary measure for the first bit we got there, because as far as we know, we're still being chased and like we're just sort of like whatever.
Then yeah,
It's just like one of those tents, like pop-up tents. You just kind of throw it on the ground. You're just gonna.
Yeah, and
Right.
Just pop in for a minute, get our bearing. That was the whole idea, was to just get our bearings for a minute before. If it doesn't, I don't know if Ward had any big thing that we had to use it. It was just like there.
I'm glad it's there for healing purposes. So I would like to, once we get in there, so I do want to, I'm going to take out from my belt my my herbalism kit.
Mm-hmm.
I got some herbs, and I'd like to ask, first I'd like to ask Koli's advice, ask him to examine me and see if he can tell what the disease is, what my affliction is. Why am I puking? Help, please, cleric.
Can I roll medicine to see if he's poisoned or if it's something more sinister?
Absolutely. Yeah, go ahead and roll medicine.
Ooh.
23 both times.
Nice. Okay. So you are, giving him like a short exam, like physical exam in this case, and you're looking over his body. Now, Chiron is not young either. I think we've stated he's in his like 60s or 70s. He's sturdy. He's still a Goliath. He's muscular, but he is elderly. And so as you're kind of looking him over, you're taking that into account, and you don't see anything wrong with him on the outside. Like, he seems physically sound on the outside. You know that he must be sick from something, because people don't vomit for no reason. And as you're kind of looking him over, you realize that he does seem to have I'm trying to think of how this would manifest. Probably his heart rate is going to be erratic and probably lower than what you would expect after the amount of exertion that all of you have gone through over the last day or two. It's a little low, a little slow, and erratic. It's not like a nice steady heartbeat. I would say his breathing is a little bit ragged as well. Other than that, he seems to be in pretty good shape for his age.
Huh.
So what you're saying is he's faking it.
No, he's definitely not faking it.
No.
Yeah.
All right. So when did this start happening, Chiron? Because you seem relatively healthy, other than being your symptoms, but I can't find any cause.
You seem healthy except for being sick. This is a joke.
I'm not a doctor.
I think the first time, cleric, that I noticed it was, well, I had flown down to the base of the mountains, or I was at the base of the mountains, and then on my return, I cast Druidcraft. When I noticed it, I cast Druidcraft, and I'll do it then. I'll cast Druidcraft and let us observe what happens.
You cast Druidcraft in an effort to create a small flower. And again, it kind of erupts from your hand, twists into the air, it blooms, and as it does, you can see it go gray, die, and then fall. Its leaves and petals falling to the ground around you and then disappearing.
It was not always like this, cleric. My connection with nature fades.
You think handling the sword had anything to do with this?
I suspect an even greater power. The Dark One. Zook the card.
I will see what I can do. I'm not promising anything. And I'll cast, what is it? Where'd it go? Lesser Restoration.
Okay.
Which, touch creature, you can end the disease. Poisoning is one of those. So I'll see if that works.
I also have advantage against disease.
Well, poisonings would be separate from disease.
I have advantage against both.
Oh,
Okay.
we'll see what happens anyway.
So you cast Lesser Restoration. You watch this. What like? How does this magic look when you cast it?
You know what? I will. I'll wrap my hands in a red cord, kind of like the symbol of the deity. I forgot how he pronounced it. Ilmatar.
Mm-hmm.
And I will just kind of lay hands on Chiron's body and whisper and like basically saying a prayer, asking the deity to come and remove any conditions that are causing this illness, or at least to shed some light on it if it can't be removed.
Okay. So as you kind of place your hands on Chiron and recite this prayer, you watch kind of this bright reddish light kind of wrap around the cord and then expand out from your hand over his body, and you can see it kind of illuminate some of his veins and arteries as it passes over, and you can watch it sink into his body. There's a slight reddish glow that is emitted, and then it quickly kind of retracts back into the cord around your hand as the spell finishes. And you again kind of examine him, and you notice that nothing has changed. His heartbeat still seems a little irregular. His breathing is a little ragged, and it's mostly just sounds in his lungs. Like it's not that he is raspy or anything like that. So the spell does not seem to have an effect. It is not a poison that is afflicting him. If you'd like to roll Arcana, you can do so. And I would say that because of your reading of, what was the name of that book?
I think I have it.
Curses Are the Worstest.
Yeah.
By Pendle Luckhaven.
I knew I had something for a curse. Yeah.
Curses Are the Worstest.
A curse to undo or be able to create a new one.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to give you advantage on this Arcana check to see if you can determine whether or not it is perhaps a curse.
13.
13. So you're not entirely sure if this is a curse. It could be another type of spell. It could be natural degradation of an old body. But the speed at which this has affected Chiron, you can certainly have a suspicion that it is more than just natural causes, that this might be a curse or a spell of some kind that is hurting him, just because of the speed that it's happening. Not entirely sure, but it's reasonable to be suspicious.
At the moment, I can't seem to figure out what is ailing you. How do you feel? Are you having visions or hearing anything, or do you just feel worn down?
I just feel old. Feeling old. Maybe that's it.
Oh, naturally. Well, I would just say for now, you seem to be relatively stable. Just rest here, and then you have been going for a while. You know, it's been a rough few months, from what I understand.
Okay, we're not talking about curses at all, right? Just metagame.
Okay.
No, are we? Like,
No.
Are you?
No,
I guess. Do you bring up curses to Chiron?
Yeah, I pulled out my book and I looked in my book, and that's what I was rolling for.
Yeah. You would definitely recognize that book, Chiron.
Okay.
Yeah. Like the title of the book is very like eloquently filigree.
Hilarious.
Curses are the worstest. Yeah.
Okay. So I'll ask Koli. I'll ask you if it is a curse. How do we remove it?
That is beyond me as of now. I haven't gotten to that chapter yet. This might be one for Alabaster, or one of the more learned doctors in Rockwood. Until then, though, I've reached my limit on how much I can handle curses. If you start losing health, I can definitely help you with that, but I'm stuck.
Do we know how long from this cave, like how far Rockwood is? Minus the weather issues, I know.
Right. Yeah. So you're not entirely sure where you are within this mountain range, but Koli would know that Rockwood is maybe a week from the other side of this mountain range. So
that's 7 to 10 days.
Yeah. So like you would know that from the other side of the mountain range, it takes about a week to get there. And you know of like a couple other small villages along the way, like every day or every couple days that you could stop into during your travels. But yeah, Rockwood is not close by, and unfortunately you're not entirely sure where in this mountain range you are at the moment.
Delyaries just kind of looks at everybody else and says, maybe we should just monitor him day by day and see if he's getting worse. Chiron, can you let us know if you're notably worse or something like takes a turn?
Are you up in the rope trick with us?
I climbed up.
Okay.
I didn't want to be
You're
by
so
myself.
stealthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like suddenly next to you, like talking right into your ear. Where the hell did you come from?
So when Delyaries says that, Chiron isn't really paying much attention. He just keeps casting Druidcraft over and over again, sitting down in the rope trick.
Go ahead and make a Go ahead and make a Constitution save.
8.
Okay. So you are casting it over and over and over again. And basically, like as soon as you, like this flower takes a few seconds to manifest and to grow out of your hand and then start to bloom and then of course shrivel. And each time it hits that point where the bloom starts to die, you immediately kind of like snuff it out and try again and try again and try again. And you are sweating and your temples are starting to throb. Your veins are kind of like popping out of your skin a little bit. Your hand is shaking as you're casting, and you can like your fingers are starting to cramp up. with this, and I'm imagining you're doing this for like a minute or more, like you're just over and over again, and you're able to a couple times get it to bloom and hold for like a couple seconds, and then it shrivels and dies. And you have mixed successes with each of these until you collapse, like you fall to the ground, and you're going to take another level of exhaustion trying to do that. And Ward, with that, you will at that moment wake up as Chiron kind of like flops next to you and lets out a deep breath, and he's sweating from something, and you kind of like groggily come out of your unconscious stupor and look around, and you see Delyaries and Koli kind of looking, I'm imagining, probably concerned. You see Chiron next to you, who seems to be distracted, but looks like he was just going through something. What do you do?
What did I miss? What happened? How did I get in here?
How do you feel?
Yeah.
Like shit.
You mishandled one of Dumple's daggers and you poisoned yourself.
Why did you do that?
Oh, and you woke me up. I get it. Okay.
Yes.
Thanks, cleric.
Very welcome.
What's his deal, Chiron?
Your friend is very sick. Is Chiron still awake, or is he unconscious now?
He is awake, but he like from the 2 or 3 minutes ago when you first examined him, you tried casting that spell. You kind of shuffled through that book real quickly to see if you could find a reference to this. And him trying to cast that spell, he looks way worse than he did just a few minutes ago. Like visibly now, I think his shoulders are kind of slumped. He's breathing heavily.
Does it look like to me? Does it look like? I know he wasn't handling daggers, but to me, does it look like he had a similar thing? Because I wasn't awake through any of that conversation. So
right, I would say I don't think you've. So I would say that you've never seen Chiron look this tired.
Okay.
I think that would be the most accurate description. Like you've never seen him this tired, this exhausted, just like defeated.
So then I'll look at Koli and say, is he, did you do anything? Is he poisoned? Is something?
Not poison. And he's not hurt. It may be a curse from the sword, or maybe something from Zook.
As soon as you say curse, like magical bullshit.
Why's it gotta be bullshit?
Wow, as soon as you say magical bullshit, I stick my hat out of the rope trick and I say, Nova, Flux. Can you take a look at this?
Team meeting in the rope trick.
We have a team meeting. Team meeting.
Assemble.
Because I know that while Flux is, good at sneaking and freaking. I don't know why. I don't know. I know that he is somebody that is an expert, in my estimation, in arcane arts. Even if he's not an expert practitioner at this point, he knows a lot about it. So maybe he can give some insight. And I've seen Nova murder a lot of people with her fucking gases and stuff. So.
You must be an expert.
That's my first reaction. So you guys are kind of hanging out like around like outside, and you pop out, and I'm like white as a sheet from being like poisoned and stuff, and I probably am like stuttery and like slurry a little bit when I'm saying it. So
that's fair. Yeah.
However you react, that's up to you. But I basically call you in there to say, we lost Kara, but to like come take a look, please.
Does anyone know when a curse ends? Does death end a curse?
Don't know.
Does
I don't
death
know.
end a curse? Ooh. I mean, so you would know from what you've read in that book that curses are varied. So, like, some curses might end upon death, and in fact, that might be the intent of a curse. Other curses might carry beyond death. It depends on the intention that was put into it in the first place, and also, like, if it was a curse, how powerful the person that cursed you is. Because it could be that the curse ends when they die. So if you outlive them, like you live for at least a short period of time without that curse because they died and their power no longer affects you. So there's a lot of variability with something like that. So I think I would go back to your Arcana check of like a 13. You would know that. You would know there's a lot of variability. You would not know specifically.
I'll go over to Chiron, kind of put my hand on his shoulder, and I have an idea, but you're not going to like it. I can.
I'll say, let's hear it, baby. And I'll look at the and say, lay it on me.
It's worse than I thought.
He's in Entourage all of a sudden.
This is a curse meant to end your life, or at least drain it from what it seems. I can revive you one time. I think you know where I'm going with this. And I'll look at at everybody else. Like, what do you think? Good idea? Bad idea?
Did Flux and Nova get up there, or are they still? Or did they not listen to me?
I listened. I'm making my way into the.
So because
What's
I
going
was
on here?
the only reason I asked that is because obviously because I hear that and I would go, before you kill our friend, even if it's something that could help. I'll just look at Flux and like hope he has another answer.
Who, this guy? Kill him.
Wow. Wow, that's unexpected. I mean, as soon as you bring this up, Chiron, he'll get an angry look in his eyes.
Aren't you passed out?
No, he's just exhausted.
Oh, okay.
I'm just I heard that, by the way.
Okay.
So.
Well, I thought you were passed out.
I thought he was asleep. I was at the pool. So I'll get an angry look in my eyes.
Who said that?
And I'll look around, kind of at this group huddled around me, I guess, right where I'm laying down, exhausted, and I think I'll get a little bit more energy, enough to expend what energy I have left to say, you're looking at a soldier who has fought more wars than you can conceive of. I've been deep in the bowels of iron domes, fought on the mountains, magical creatures. They have not destroyed Chiron. A soldier does not take his own life.
I understand. Then we will wait and see if we can come up with a different course of action.
We'll just dangle you in front of all the big mobs.
When you say that, I'll put my hand on your. I imagine you were sitting down and you sort of like sat up and said that.
Yeah.
I'll just put my hand on your chest and push you down like gently and say, "Sleep, friend. We will keep watch and let you fall out of this rope trick when it dissipates." But I will say probably to relax, but he can't fall asleep in here because he's gonna fall out. I guess he's only 3 feet up. That's gonna be shitty if it dissipates. Now I'm thinking of my friend. I'm thinking of just like being a good friend here. Chiron, I'll tell you to go out of the rope trick and find us a place to sleep so that when you don't fall out of the rope trick, and we will see if we can, and we will keep watch and see if we can figure something else out.
Well, with my little speech, I think I used. I mean, I'm pretty exhausted at this point. I guess I can crawl out, I guess, and fall down.
Well, the only problem is we'd have to all get together and like, you're so fucking big.
Anyone got a peanut butter and jelly?
Yeah, let me just
revive me a little bit here.
Sorry, buddy. Flux, Nova, do you have any idea what kind of magic bullshit could do this?
I can take a look reluctantly. Look at him. Look him over. Poke him. Kick him a little bit. Can I do an Arcana check on the kick? A little pokey poke.
Go for it.
21.
There we go.
What is affecting him is definitely magical in nature.
Great.
Pretty powerful magic. A curse would make sense. Though it could be something else, but a curse would make sense.
Did we notice when he started getting sick, or at least showing symptoms? When he first came to us, when that first, kind of battle, was he noticeably sick at that time? To us?
This is a couple days ago, I think, or just one day ago. No, this is kind of the first signs of this that you've noticed. Yeah.
So it's progressed pretty far.
Pretty quickly.
Yep.
Quickly.
Why don't
I'll remind
you?
the group about.
Oh, go
sorry.
ahead. No, go ahead.
I was to say, I'll remind the group about what I saw when I went to revive him the first time, about how I never actually revived him and something else brought him back to life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe that might have something to do with it, but that was
Don't know.
couple days ago.
Maybe they've called in payment.
Why don't you roll history,
Okay.
Koli, as you're kind of saying this out loud to everybody, trying to recall exactly what happened.
Hate having exhaustion.
Come on.
Yeah, 4.
I was excited for a second.
So
I was too.
you remember like reaching out to him and his eyes opening, and he seemed to be awake, not needing your revivify spell. And you know that this was, it must have been at least a week ago that took place. But that's pretty much what you can remember right now. There's been quite a bit of stuff that has happened since then. So it's kind of hard to kind of keep track of it all. But I think that would be what you remember, is that you thought he needed it. When you got there, he just kind of woke up. So apparently didn't. And then, and it's been a little over a week, you're guessing, since that happened. So this is kind of the first signs of anything since then. He seemed pretty healthy that entire time.
Did you say how far away we are from Rockwood, or at least if we didn't have any, like in a perfect world?
Perfect world, 7 to 10 days.
Okay, so
that's it depends on where you are within this mountain range, but you're probably 7 to 10 days.
Okay.
Is anybody curious about that thing we saw outside in the inside of the cave? That
for sure.
I mean, we can try to help him, but the only way we're going to help him at this point probably is by getting him somewhere else out of this rope trick. We can explore that thing that I'm not sure exactly what it is. It's inside of this cave where we can decide to figure out a way to leave to get back to Rockwood.
Is it? What time of day is it now? It's like evening.
Yes, and you can hear outside. You can hear the wind howling outside the cave. The storm is in full force at this point, and Flux, you realize that Levi has flown back into the cave and is seeking shelter in here because it's just like it's too crazy out there. Like he can't find a safe place to rest or perch. So, yeah, I'm imagining he flips you the bird.
A bird.
Yeah.
And I was like, I was just gonna call you in, buddy.
Yeah.
Just about to.
He's been so abused that even when Flux is like kind of nice to him, he doesn't know how to deal with it. He doesn't know how to like. So Delyaries, I think Ward would say, yeah, for sure. We need to. I mean, I want to know what that is, but. And I look around at Chiron and Koli, and who else has an exhaustion?
I think Nova.
I have one level of
All
exhaustion.
looking pretty like tired, and I know I'm spent. I'm pretty spent. I'll say I think between those, maybe we need to rest a little bit before we go out there. But I'll be hard pressed to leave without looking at it a little bit. That is, unless Chiron can't wait, but maybe we need to assess that in the morning. I don't know. See what the dawn brings. Does that make sense?
I could volunteer to kind of stay. I don't have exhaustion, so I can volunteer to stay up, look, kind of monitoring Chiron maybe, and just checking his vitals. I don't have any equipment to do that, I guess, but
Well, I don't
feeling
think
pulse?
me,
I don't know.
you and Flux don't have any exhaustion, so I think maybe if we take watch,
Okay.
like do it in shifts.
Yeah, we could do that.
Because what do we need? Minimum of 6 or 8 hours? I forget. I always forget this.
8 hours for a long rest.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're one short. Well, we have Flint technically. I don't know if that.
I mean,
I don't know. We could use.
no.
well,
If you got 3 people, you can do it because the first person will get like 4 hours, and then like it's okay if it gets broken up. Like 4 hours and 4 hours. It's not.
And as long as we're not, you don't have to be sleeping, right? You're just supposed to not be like doing exhaustive things. I always forget.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah. As long as you're like,
Right.
doing something that's really low impact, low energy.
Okay.
There's like you're resting. So.
Okay. Cool. So I say let's take a shift. If you want to take the first watch, you're more than welcome.
Yeah, that way we let everybody have as much rest as they need, but just kind of watching Chiron to make sure he doesn't take a turn for the worse.
Yeah, so I think I'll hop out of the rope trick because I know that's not going to last a ton longer, and I will roam around in the cave for a good spot to make a fire and set up an actual camp for us. Like maybe Delyaries and I go out and actually set up an actual like spot for us in maybe safely in the cave, and then we can all have a spot to rest that isn't going to disappear in 20 minutes or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me share this screen real quick.
And you know what I'm going to do? Talk to some mushrooms, hopefully.
Where's Dumple during all of this?
Yeah.
Dumple is tied up on the ground. Nobody put him in the rope trick, so he's not in the rope trick. But if you want to put him in the rope trick for now, you can. Otherwise, yeah. And he rolled a 1 on his con save, so he's out. He's basically out with that. I'm just going to basically put it into your favor completely. He's out until you wake him up.
Okay, cool.
So yeah,
that's handy.
Yeah.
Because
just make it,
about him.
just make it simple. Like he rolled a 1 on his con save, so like you will have to wake him up. He's not
until it's 1 o'clock in the morning and you decide to have him wake up and use his super loud voice thing that he has, thaumaturgy or whatever the hell he has to like be super projectional. But anyway, yeah. Okay. So is everybody cool with that? Like just taking shifts and the people that have exhaustion can just sleep?
It works for me.
Good with that.
I need a couple days off.
Yeah, let's take a little road trip to wine country and we'll be all good. Sonoma. We'll do Sonoma.
Where are we on this map?
Yes, that's a good question.
So this over at the left side, that is the entrance of the cave. And you have come in, you haven't gone that far into it. You've kind of made it to this first turn and hunkered down there. You're far enough away from the entrance where you're not going to be drawing attention to yourself. And you can kind of see this chamber here. This is where you saw a lot of the kind of the reflections of the facets of the ice that have frozen in very large, like crystalline forms. And then you know that the cave does continue further. You're not entirely sure what's over here yet, but that's kind of the limits of your exploration so far, is the kind of the middle of it.
Then do we want to, before we just decide that we're all hunky-dory safe, do we want to go see what's down the corridor just to make sure there's not some hideous monster waiting for us to die, waiting for us
We might want to explore a little bit just to make sure.
All right, so I'll go. I don't know who else wants to go, but I'll definitely
I'll go. Yeah.
Okay.
Instructing Levi to stay in
and
the
we'll go
vestibule.
stealthy as we can.
Okay. So Flux and Ward, the two of you are going to Delyaries, are you going with them as well, or are you going to hang back?
I guess if you guys think I should, or if I could stay with the group just to kind of keep watch. I don't know.
Up to you.
Because Koli and Nova are also conscious, right? They're watching.
Yeah, nobody's asleep yet, I think.
Okay.
This was just like an initial conversation.
But they are exhausted, so keep in mind that they're not in peak performance right now.
Yeah.
If you guys want, I mean, I can kind of watch over this group so that you can all sleep. If you want to go and explore, or I can come with you. It's up to you. Offering my service either way.
Hey, Delyaries. You do whatever the hell you want. Your help is welcome either way. That's me being nice. Look at that. And I'll just start walking off. Like not to be like, I'm just like whatever you choose is a good choice. So
she turns and look. Oh, go ahead, Koli.
So who's going exploring?
Me and Flux.
And Flux.
And maybe Delyaries.
And then Delyaries looks back at the kind of half sleepy group, and she's like, she starts running forward. She wants to go.
I was gonna say. So when she runs up behind Flux and I'll just look back and kind of chuckle at her.
I'll cast bless on the three explorers.
Okay. All right. All blessed.
Thank you, sir.
All blessed up. Okay. So with that, why don't the three of you that are exploring go ahead and roll perception? And Ward, you have dark vision. Flux,
yes.
You have dark vision as well.
Yeah.
Okay. And Delyaries, you have dark vision. Okay, cool. So you guys are all good.
Nat 20 on perception.
Nice.
Nat 20 as well, Mr. Flux.
What?
So that's a 30 for
wow.
me. Wait, with bless? Just for fun.
Well, that's for attacks. It's
Attacks.
not
I got excited.
Attacks and saves.
Damn, and I wasted because I got a 4 on it too. I was maxed out.
I just wanted a 34 on my perception.
Cool.
I got an 18.
An 18, nice. All right. So all of you kind of move through this first chamber, kind of, checking the walls, following it, and you can see kind of underneath your feet, there is some discoloration in the ice. Seems a little bit darker and seems to reflect. Do you guys have any light with you, or are you just relying on your dark vision?
I have a torch. I
have some torches, but I feel like if I got curious, dark, I would pull it out.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say that you can see in this cave perfectly fine without a source of light. Like all of you have dark vision. You can see, like, obviously the distance that you can see is going to be less than you would normally. You're seeing in, shades of gray, not color. I'm just wondering whether
do we
or not
have disadvantage on perception checks?
No.
Okay.
Nope. Nope.
It's not that dark or whatever.
Right.
It's like, okay.
Yeah. And there's, there's not really any light coming from outside, but your dark vision just kind of gives you that, right?
Okay.
Like that's so don't worry about that. I'm just wondering because if you are bringing a torch with you, that's what I want to ask. So as you're kind of walking through, you can hear the like the creaking and cracking of this ice under the the weight of the wind and the snow above you, and you can see these facets of the ice kind of bend and cause reflections in weird directions, and in some cases, I think I mentioned this last time, where you get a you get the experience of like being in a like a mirrored room funhouse type situation where you can see yourself reflected in like several different angles all at once, and as you move they all kind of move in different directions. So it's a little disorienting, but with the three of you going through, if you could imagine that if you were alone walking through here, that you could get lost. Like it would be very confusing to try and figure out which wall is which and which direction you're actually moving because of those reflections. But with the three of you, there's enough like of that sight line being broken up by your physical bodies that you can kind of orient yourselves to that. Cool. So you kind of explore this first room, and again, just massive ice crystals that make up the structure, but you don't really see anything unusual. You make your way
along.
Go ahead.
I look over Ward and say, Ward, check this out. It's going to be trippy. And I cast Dancing Lights. And these 4 little orbs of light come out floating in front of us and kind of reflecting off the walls and bouncing like down, finding their way through like the little nooks and crannies.
Awesome. All 3 of you make an intelligence save.
Oh shit. I'm like, cool.
Cool.
Whoa.
10.
And you all get a D4 added to that. Bless.
Oh, that's right. Now I can use it.
Yeah, bless counts for this.
13.
Oh yeah, baby. I got a 25.
So
Yeah.
just roll a d4 in addition. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Damn.
All right, so 12 and 12 and 4. 16.
Nice. Okay. I need to check. Flux, what is your spell save DC?
Boop, 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 boop. 14 or 11, I guess.
Okay. 14 or 11.
It's either it's depending on whether that's a sorcerer spell or a
Rogue
or a,
14, Sorcerer 11.
Oh, because you're an arcane trickster.
yeah. So his
Okay.
sorcerer is 11, his rogue is 14.
Got it. Is Dancing Lights a cantrip that you got as a rogue?
Sorcerer.
Okay.
Okay, so
all right.
11.
Okay. So, Ward, you are kind of momentarily confused by all of this, but the lights aren't enough to, like confuse you completely. And you're able to kind of follow these lights, and as they shift around this room, they reflect in, again, different angles, and they're casting this glowing light against these facets and mirrored surfaces in very interesting ways. And you can see now beneath you, the floor simply sparkles. And as you look down, there is just a strewn across the entire floor of this room. This chamber is gold and silver coins deep beneath the ice. Now you're not entirely sure if it's an inch beneath the ice, or if it's a foot beneath the ice, or if it's 10 feet beneath the ice. It's very difficult to gauge depth through this, especially with all the lights kind of bouncing and reflecting off of it. But with that light, you can now see a deeper reflection within the ice.
Nice. Flux would immediately start melting the ice.
Okay.
Do I know what? Okay, yes, go ahead with that.
Under our feet. Like right underneath me.
Right
like
underneath you. Okay.
So that I start sinking downward in the elevator.
Do I have any sense of like what this could possibly mean or be, or is this some sort of like is this a harbinger of something else? Like, what the fuck is going on? Why is there a bunch of gold under the floor? Does that make any sense to me at all?
Roll. Roll insight.
Okay.
Because I think this would be like combining a few different pieces of knowledge and information.
It's cocked. It's either a 5 or 15. It's on its side, so I will re-roll again. I'll take a picture if anybody needs it. I'm being, transparent here, but I've got to re-roll. Insight would be 16.
Okay. So the coins are very clearly strewn about without any sort of order to them.
Mm-hmm.
So this could be a shipment that was lost.
Yeah.
And over time has, either been covered in ice or has sunken into the ice. It could be that this used to be a place to store coins beneath you or above you. This might be a chamber, a treasure chamber, or something like that. It could be that it was intentionally put here, locked away like a safe, frozen beneath ice that would take people, like a lot of time and effort to try and extract. So I would say with a 16, those could be some possibilities.
But whatever it
looking
is,
at this, but this is kind of odd. Yeah.
So whatever it is, though, there is some possibility that it's not it's not an unknown or necessarily a safe situation for us to be in this place. We aren't necessarily, this isn't some random cave.
It could be.
Maybe it raises my hackles a little bit, let's say.
Right. That would definitely be fair, but it could be a random cave. This could be just through the formation of this ice and around these coins. That's why the walls are the way you're not entirely sure, but yeah.
So I'm going to step completely as much into the shadows as I possibly can to try to to use my whatever it is, umbral. I always forget what the fucking name of that is. You know what I'm saying? The umbral sight, so people can't see me while I'm in darkness, and just to whatever. I mean, that's not even an action; it just is what it is. But I'm putting myself as much into darkness as I can. And I will say, whatever this is, let's tread lightly and see what's in this next room.
And Delyaries wants to scout a little bit. I mean, she has been in
that's
dungeons.
what I'm saying.
Yeah, she has been in dungeons before, probably, and so she already knows. She's probably a little worried more that no treasure gets left.
Yeah.
Kind of in sight if this was not frozen, I guess. Although this is a frozen area, so maybe it has been frozen for a long time.
Go ahead, and as you kind of scout ahead, go ahead and roll, because you guys all rolled pretty well in perception. Go ahead and roll investigation this time, as you're kind of taking a closer look at everything. And Flux, you can do that too, unless you're going to spend your time melting.
Yeah, I'm like up to my waist by now.
Okay. I'm going to say that, let's see here. Flux,
7.
Flux, you are able to melt down deep enough, and you're like, as you're doing this, the water that's created, you're just kind of like splashing out onto the floor where it kind of immediately refreezes, but you've created a little bit of a divot, and loose coins that you've been able to free have kind of pooled around your feet at this point. you have another 2 gold worth of coins that you've been able to melt here. But you get the idea that most of this treasure lies quite deep within the ice. Like you're just kind of scratching the surface. You're down like 2 feet into this ice in a small little pocket, and you're just getting like the top few coins, essentially. Yeah. So sorry, Delyaries, what was your investigation check?
I rolled a 7, so
okay.
I'm pretty sure she's not gonna find much in that scouting. Yeah.
Okay. So you and Ward, are you going with Delyaries, or are you staying?
Yeah, that's I had wanted to move ahead quietly as well. That was my thing.
All right.
That I was trying to do. Did you want me to roll investigation as well, or is that just her?
Nope. Go for it. If you're following, go ahead. Yeah, Flux is busy.
I previously rolled because I misunderstood. I thought we were both doing that, so that's why I'm just clarifying that. So I will use that roll, and that was a 14.
Okay, so you kind of come around this corner, and the I'm imagining those dancing lights are kind of shimmering and moving in the air again. That's kind of the limit of where Flux had cast it. So you're getting a little bit more of that disorienting effect, but you've already resisted it, so you know there's no need to do so again. And as you enter this room, Delyaries, you notice that the density of those coins increases significantly in the floor. And Ward, you see this immediately as well. The other thing that you notice is a very strange pattern that kind of wraps around that room within the ice, and it's a repeating pattern, and it's difficult again to kind of tell the depth perception of this space, especially with your dark vision. So you're only kind of seeing portions of it at a time, with the assistance of these dancing lights, and it kind of has like a scalloped, cracking form to this to that pattern, and it's definitely within the ice.
Okay. And how deep are we right now?
This would be in the walls.
Oh.
And how far are we? You said right now.
I'm going to say you basically came around this corner, and you're just kind of standing, right in this. As this chamber opens up, that's what you're seeing. And with your dark vision, you're kind of seeing this first portion of that chamber here.
So I'll whisper. I'll tell them, like, there's some strange pattern on the walls. Let's just get far enough in so we can see if there's anything waiting for us, and then go back for the others.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe it's not wise to disturb the surface of the ground right now. And she looks over at Flux.
Flux is just like, yeah. He's just blasting away at the floor, like.
So I guess I would just move. Yeah. I guess I would just move far enough in so that I could see to the end, and then that's it.
Okay.
For now.
So as you do this, two of you are moving. I'm imagining like close enough together where you don't lose eye contact, and this chamber is large enough where if you are making your way across one wall, you can't see the other.
Okay.
And it's just kind of with your dark vision. Again, like that's why I was asking, like, if you had a light source, it would make a difference because of the size. So with your dark vision, that's kind of what you're able to see is at the edge of your vision. If you're standing in the middle of this chamber, once you kind of do a once through, you're kind of standing in the middle, and you can just barely make out some of the edges of the room, like the limits of where these walls are. And you're seeing some more of that pattern at this point, because both of you are in here. I'll have you both make another investigation check since you're continuing to take a closer look.
Even less. 12.
Okay.
Couple of dummies over here.
12.
12. Okay. So you are seeing a lot of sparkles beneath your feet. and you see that pattern along the walls, and that's pretty much it. Yeah, it's difficult to tell any other like key features in this room without more light at this point. Like you've kind of exhausted the limitations of your dark vision.
But we don't see any like creatures, as it were.
No,
as far as we can tell.
Yeah, you've seen a couple other little skittering, like haired, furry lizards, like you saw when you first, but nothing like monsters, right? Like,
some we'd have to be okay. All right, so let's go back and we can.
Nova and Koli are both smiling over there, like that's not what happened last time.
Yeah, I was like, geez, these guys know what the fuck's going on in here.
I don't know anything.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So with that, I'll just say to Nova, to Delyaries, I'll just say, whatever this is, we should figure it out. But let's go back and rest and see this in the morning as part of our, if we can. I don't know, but there's more to this. But I don't want to do it without the others.
And then Delyaries, she reaches in her backpack and pulls out a torch, but she doesn't light it. And she's like, I'm so tempted to use this right now. You know, she's just like, her eyes are still glittering with the sight of some type of a treasure. And she's like, but you're right. Maybe we should wait for the group. And she just kind of puts it back in.
Okay. So as you make your way like out of this cave, you pass Flux, who has collected another gold piece worth of coins.
One more gold piece.
Yeah.
Hey Flux.
All
Hey
right,
Flux.
What?
Good job.
Good job, buddy. Yeah.
He's like I was literally gonna say good job, buddy. It's weird in there, but I don't know if anything's immediately dangerous. So we're gonna head back and rest for the night with the crew, and maybe we can investigate this further in the morning when we have the rest of everybody. If that makes sense.
Yeah, is the gold closer to the surface?
There's more.
Is there any more? Is there
There's
any more in
more
there?
of it. It looks like there's a lot under the ice.
All right. Good.
Good. All right. So you make your way back to the rest of the group, and the who's going to take the? Or are you going to go and tell them what's going on?
Yeah, guys. There's gold in the ground. Flux, right? Show them.
Here.
But more, what's really weird is there's this pattern that goes around. There's another room beyond this next one that there's a pattern going around the wall.
What?
I can't make it out. Delyaries and I couldn't make it out really, but when we're feeling up to it tomorrow, unless we have to move, this is a weird place. And with that thing outside, maybe we should investigate, but we can decide in the morning. That being said, Delyaries, you still up for the first watch?
She's feeling pretty spry, so she says, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll probably like go back and try to get gold.
I might actually sneak back to that little hole that Flux dug just to carve out another.
Start chipping away at it.
The dagger.
She comes back, we're all dead because she was in there digging for gold.
Yeah. I'll take this watch.
Okay, perfect. All right, so the rest of you rest. And Delyaries, why don't you roll a perception check?
$19.
Nice. Okay. So during your watch, you can hear the howling wind. And as you're looking out, I think you would see a bright white light of somebody. This would be very small, faint, definitely shrouded by the storm at a distance. And then a few moments goes by, and then you see it move a little bit, and then it blinks out.
This is outside, right?
This is, yes, outside. Yep. You would recognize that as somebody casting the spell light. You've seen that before. Pretty common cantrip for spellcasters to have. And someone out there just used it for some reason. You're not entirely sure why, but you saw it. The other thing you notice is Levi has kind of come over to you and tried to like get close to you a little bit for warmth. Levi is an owl. And and he's just kind of like resting as well, kind of close to you.
Was Levi outside or was he in this cave?
He has been so he is Flux's familiar. So he's been in the cave for a little while. Yeah.
Does he only take commands from Flux, or can he? Okay. I'm gonna ask Levi. I'm gonna try to ask Levi if he can go outside the cave and scout, and I'll tell him that I saw some type of flash of light, if he can go and investigate.
Levi looks at you. You know for a fact that he understood what you said, and he like ruffles his feathers a little bit and then just kind of like sits there and looks outside. But he does not fly out into the storm.
He's like, you go out there, you go investigate.
Okay. So how long has everybody been sleeping for?
For a few hours at this point. Yep.
I think I'm gonna probably wake up Ward.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna say, I'm nudging him and just kind of waking him up. He's probably groggy, and what do you want? So I'm just gonna tell Ward, hey, I saw something that we should caution about. There was a flash of light outside the cave. I can't tell exactly how far away, but it looks like somebody was casting something might be approaching us, or at least approaching the entrance to this cave. Maybe we need to send someone to investigate.
What's it look like outside right now?
It's
weather-wise?
terrible.
Yeah.
Like the wind is whipping, snow is like flying sideways. It is just miserable, absolutely miserable.
So then I'll say, well, why don't you take a rest? I'll keep watch. But by the time anybody gets here, I think we'll be able to handle them.
You know what? We have a couple options. One is it's somebody who knows we're here, but the other possibility, it's someone who's just coming home, doesn't know we're here.
Yeah.
Maybe the owner of those coins.
Yeah, that could be unfortunate.
All right. Well, let us know.
For them.
Yeah, for them. Yeah, and he walks. I'm thinking I'm back. So I'll just say, good looking out. I'm not sure what to do about it right now, but I'll keep an eye out, and if I wake everybody up, and with haste, you know why, so you can help, assess in that way.
Yeah, we may need to move deeper into the cave just to hide from whatever's coming towards this entrance. Let us know.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So Ward, why don't you roll a perception check as you stand your portion of the watch?
Come on, baby. 26.
Cool. So you watch the entrance. You kind of look further deep into the cave, carefully listening for anything that might be coming from there as well. You hear the skittering of those little furred lizards.
Can I possibly grab one, or can I not grab one? Excuse me. Well, are you about to say something that I'm more interested in?
Not at all. I cannot imagine anything that I could come up with more interesting than a furry little lizard that you want to capture in this cave.
I don't want to capture him yet, but if I see one, I imagine I see one that's sort of like, just like kind of walking, like trying to stay out of my sight a little bit, like being cautious. And cast Speak with Animals,
Okay.
and I say, "You hungry?"
And it like looks at you with surprise, and it kind of like clicks a little bit, and then Levi swoops in from behind you and snatches it and pulls it up into the air and brings it down to the ground and starts eating. And then Levi looks over at you, and if an owl could smirk, an owl he did. Like he smirks at you.
Can Levi understand me? Because I know he's a spirit technically.
Levi can understand common. Yes, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Well, either way,
he can't speak it.
Speak with me.
Like he has a telepathic connection with Flux, but he does understand common. Yeah.
I'll just look at him. I'll just put my head down, shake my head. You know what, Levi? Flux can be a real bastard sometimes. I think you earned that.
And he, you see him like ruffle his feathers again, and kind of turns his head in all different directions, and kind of like loops it around. Yeah, he's clowning. So
between me and you, though, the next time that I look like I'm trying to talk to one of these little fucks, can you eat a different one? Just a request. You know, you do you. I'm not your boss. We have a working relationship. I'd like to be your friend. I don't know how you feel about me, but I will tell you this. I would like to have tried to have a conversation with that guy.
So Levi kind of looks at you, clicks a couple times, and then like glances twice back further into the cave.
As in go back there, or there's more back there?
There's more back there, perhaps.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, just because I've already started this fucking process, I will go find another one.
Now you're pot committed.
I'm yes, I just try to see one, and I'll just see another one. I'll cast Goodberry, regular Goodberry.
Okay.
And I'll ask if I see another one, I'll say, "Hey, you hungry?" And then I'll look around real quick.
And it again looks surprised at you, and then kind of looks, and you get the sense that yes, indeed, it is hungry. It is also incredibly curious as to like what you are and why you are here.
Okay. I'll toss a Goodberry down towards it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I gotta cast it, and I actually don't know how many I got. So hold on a second, just to see, because this might be important. I have 7, so okay, so we're 7 regular Goodberries, just to if I've given more. And I'll say, sorry to bother you, I guess. I know this is your home, but have you seen anything else? Do you know what else lives here? That's what I'm trying to ask. Yeah. Do you know what else? Does anything else live here besides you? Bigger, scarier?
It says, it kind of reacts in the affirmative that yes, something else lives here. Bigger. You're just getting a lot of yeses. You're not entirely sure like if it's answering yes to everything or if it's answering yes to some of the things.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. You also know that this thing is probably not super intelligent, so it might assume that you are living here now and you are also big and scary. Like, so you're not entirely sure.
So this is what I'm going to do then. Mm-hmm. So this is what I'm going to do. All right. So I will say, do you mind if I shake your hand?
At that, it stands up on its hind legs, kind of like shimmies, like, takes up a very proud posture and struts towards you on its hind legs and extends one of its front little paws to you.
It's truly an honor. And I shake his hand, and as I do, I cast Beast Sense so that I can, for the next hour, since it's a willing creature, for the next hour, I can see through its senses. So I will actually go. So I figured, how long has this been into my watch? Just like an hour or so or something like that.
Yeah.
And we don't have to be asleep for a long rest, right?
Correct.
So I will actually go wake up Flux if he's sleeping, and I'll just say, I think I actually can't. I'm blinded and deafened to my own surroundings. So I did this without telling anybody else. Just so you know, I've whoops. Just gonna say big fat whoops to that. I didn't realize that. So yeah.
He's not watching it.
So I sit down.
All right, hold on a second. Hold on a second.
I didn't think it through.
As soon as you did that, you were now further within this cave than where you are at the front. Like you went in seeking out this little little lizard. So I'm gonna have you make a you're gonna make a survival check at disadvantage because you are currently blinded and deafened.
Yeah.
Within an unfamiliar cave.
The first one was a 29, and the second one was a 26.
Okay. All right. So you were able to make your way to a wall.
Okay.
And then kind of feel your way, listening to the sounds outside.
Yeah.
And you make your way back to the entrance of the cave with the rest of your friends.
Okay.
And
so then I'll sit
able
down
to like
against the wall, and I'll say Flux, Flux, psst, psst, Flux, Flux.
So I'm going to say with that high of a roll, you can actually pick up on Flux's heat.
Okay. So I'll actually like, hey, Flux.
Because he's putting out a little bit more heat than everybody else as a fire ganassi.
I'll sort of I'll sit right down next to him. Flux, Flux, hey.
What? Sorry, I was on mute. What?
I need you to take over. And you look at my eyes, and they're totally like white. Everything's fine.
I'm imagining that he's saying there's everything is fine, but there is a faint halo of one of these furry little lizard forms around his body. Like just like little frills of fur all around him of that kind of like bluish white tinge. And
let me guess,
he
is there a
opens his
weird
mouth, there's a tiny little tongue that kind of snaps out like an ethereal one when he talks.
When you wake up and say everything's fine, is there a weird like ethereal tongue and go ahead? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
fact,
that's
there
normal.
is.
It's normal. I made a friend.
Okay.
But just so you know, Delyaries saw somebody casting like light or something in the distance. So keep an eye on that.
What?
I am not able to do anything except feel your hot bod for the next hour. Okay, buddy.
Okay.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
So I just sit there and hunker down and just look through this beast size to see where it goes, and then Flux, so whoever, whatever, but that's what I'm doing. I hunker down.
Okay. All right. So let's go to Flux at this point. Roll a perception check. Ward has removed himself from the team.
16.
I didn't realize that. I read the last sentence of the fucking spell. That's so classic.
Great. You're just so excited. So excited. Yeah. So Flux, you I'm imagining that so you don't notice anything outside. Whatever light Ward was babbling about, you don't see it. But Ward is like really weird right now. Like he's twitching every once in a while. You'll see him like open his mouth and a little ethereal tongue will come out. His eyes kind of like flick back and forth, and there's almost that what is it, like the nictating eyelids, like that shut horizontal or vertically, right? Like not horizontally. Every once in a while that will kind of glass over his eyes. It's kind of disconcerting, but he said everything was fine. That's pretty much what you experienced for your watch. Ward seems calm, and Ward, what you see is this little lizard making its way along the edges of the wall. Once it gets into the darkness, you don't see anything. But you hear the scraping of its claws on the ice, and that it uses kind of a combination of scent and echolocation in the dark and within this ice.
I do. So apparently, and maybe this is where you were going with it. I gain the benefits of any special senses possessed by that creature. So whatever their sense perceiving, I perceive, I suppose. But
so with that echolocation, you're getting a better like 3D map of the inside of that room as it's using that echolocation. Like as you're getting those sound waves coming in, you're getting an idea of where those facets are and how they kind of reflect. Some of these facets of ice kind of reflect down onto the floor. Others hit the ceiling. Other hit portions of the wall. So it's with that. Geez, yeah. Actually, go ahead and make another. I think this is going to be a wisdom save.
Okay.
Yeah, or I guess this would be a. Is this spell a concentration spell?
It's a concentration spell. Yes.
Okay. Make a concentration save, but instead of constitution, use your wisdom.
Okay.
Like make a wisdom save for it. Yeah.
I roll a 16 with a +6. So 22,
okay.
I guess.
Cool. Yep. So you're able to maintain that concentration despite the surreal experience that you're going through. Yes, and it's interesting because it's as if like different facets are just kind of like flashing around you as that sound reflects and bounces off of it. Like it's not a clean, it's not like Daredevil echolocation where he gets like a nice, almost like X-ray.
It's just pieces and parts. And
you're getting because
he's got his own.
Right, because this.
I'm not asking him to map it out. Like he's doing his own thing. So
exactly.
I'm seeing just pieces and parts.
Yeah. So that's kind of your experience.
But I do have a better sense of the room itself. So going back there, I should be a little bit more specifically oriented if I go back in there.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I only have 2 other quick questions before I release it.
Mm-hmm.
Do I get a sense of? This is wild. I'm sorry, and this is probably a lot to ask. Do I get a sense of like the hierarchy of these little fucking beasts, or like how they operate? Like in an hour, I know that's a lot. So I wouldn't get the full picture, but I mean, like, is this like a whole colony of them, or is this like? I don't know what I'm gonna do with this information. By
there are. Yes, there are a number of these creatures in here.
Okay.
Like not hundreds, but like dozens. Yes.
Yeah. Enough.
Yeah.
Enough. And he what felt did it, and the other question I was going to ask, like, he clearly liked our interaction, like he felt important because I asked to shake his hand or whatever, and like at least that's face value. But it doesn't say I can communicate with him from my sense, so that's off the table. But I can only perceive through his senses, because I was going to try to. I didn't ask his name, which I wanted to do, but I didn't. So, all right, I just talked myself out of even asking. So I'm moving on. So I think that's what I did, and I'll say as if he can hear me, but I feel like I'm one with him. I'll say, "Thanks, friend." And I'll let it go.
And then the spell kind of fades from that point. Cool. Okay.
Sorry. All right. I know but I was trying to figure out a piece of that. Sorry.
All right. So I think with that, the night has passed. You can see that outside it is starting to show a little bit of light. The storm is still going. It has let up a little. It's not nearly as bad as it was the previous night, but all of you have now gained the benefit of a long rest. So
we like to
heal up, get rid of a level of exhaustion, spell slots, and abilities all refresh, and all that good stuff.
So who still has exhaustion?
I have 1 level.
Koli has one now?
I think Koli and Chiron both have 1 level left.
I still have 1.
Okay. So when you guys wake up, I will tell you that. So we already told you that. I will just relay. Flux, you saw, but one of those little fucking lizard things. I made friends with it, and sort of, I guess, whatever.
Know what
I don't
that
know how to
was.
explain it to you. I don't know how to explain it to you guys. in layman's terms, I became one with the beast. Okay. but I got a little bit of better sense of the room at large, but that doesn't mean we need to go in there or do anything. But I'm just telling you, I was able to get a sense of at least the full scope of the room, but not much else. Did you see Flux? Did you see anything?
I didn't see much, man. No.
Chiron, how are you feeling?
Exhausted, kind of. You get it.
I didn't at first. Yes, I did. Yeah.
No different. No different than before. Old.
Larry's kind of looks at Flux and Ward and questions. Did you guys notice anything more about that light that I had seen last night?
I'll be honest. About an hour in, I made a decision, and I was pretty useless to you guys.
And she just kind of furls her brow and just like shakes her head.
But no, for that hour, well, Flux took over pretty much right after that, and he said he didn't. So I don't know. I'm assuming it was them, but I didn't see anything.
There was definitely a light out there, though. I'm a little worried about that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very well, it could be just someone passing through the same location, but it's a little odd. We're in such a remote location.
Yeah. I don't know. So, and you said, Jeremy, you said the storm is still going, right?
It is
still popping off. Okay.
Yep. Yeah. It's let up a little bit, but it is still snowing, windy. It is not kind out there.
So we get the sense that, so our choices are group, right? They're like investigating the cave, investigate the forge, or like go back out and keep going north, even if it's slow and possible more constitution saves or whatever fucking great shit he has cooked up for us. Staying here, the bad thing is potentially whatever. And I will say actually that my little buddy told me that there have other things are here that aren't us or them. So, but it wasn't specific, so I don't know. So I would have relayed that. But so our danger thing is like what Delyaries said, like, is something coming home? And then the danger thing possibly like those fuckers that are chasing us, catching up to us, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. This is me, Jonathan Roy, saying I don't know what the fuck to do. So
Meta.
like there's shit we want to investigate all over the place. We also know Chiron needs help, and we need to get out of here. So I don't know. Ward. So I will say Ward probably says, whatever we're gonna do here, we need to do it quick. Chiron, can you last if we look around here, or do you need to get out of here? And I in that.
I've only thrown up twice. I think I can last.
Okay. Well, that's something.
Delyaries kind of walks over to Nova. Unusual, but she does, and she says,
I don't give a shit about
you. What do you think, Nova? You've been a source of good ideas in this our adventures, and I think we can trust your opinions. What do you think we should do?
What is the likelihood of us getting lost in the mountains, in the snow, in a storm?
Well, are you asking Jeremy? Or are you asking me? Because Ward would say 0 without if there's non-magical meat, unless there's magic involved. I literally can't get lost.
Is that true?
It kind of is, yeah. I think. Wait.
Something built that forge.
Oh no, it's
outside.
not anymore because I don't have favored terrain anymore. That's right.
Okay.
Oh no.
So
Now you're always lost.
I literally can't get lost.
Yeah.
I don't say that
Oh wait,
at
no.
all. I don't say that at all.
I can totally get lost.
There was a time pre-Tasha's when if I spent a couple hours on my favorite terrain, I couldn't get lost without
Mhm.
Yes.
You can't get
Sorry about
lost.
that.
Where'd you guys go?
Get lost. You can't get lost. So yes, actually, great question, Nova. I would like to know the answer to that.
So
There's a full-on
Delyaries,
storm going on.
yeah,
right?
how confident are you when Nova asks that?
I think that Nova's probably thinking that we will get lost and that we're facing against a big storm outside and we're not going to get too far too quickly anyway. So maybe taking refuge in here is probably better, and that I probably am leaning on that because Delyaries is like she's really attracted to that gold under the ground, and she's got that weird sense of like, this is what I do. I go into dungeons before I met this group, and I'm in a dungeon right now and I know there's gold in it. So she's leaning more on, I mean, she knows that there's probably some kind of an obstacle possibly, but she's kind of leaning
An
more
asterisk on the goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But she's kind of leaning more on staying inside and investigating this cave further, or at least trying to see if there's any way, any kind of tunnels or anything that can maybe lead.
Yeah, maybe there's something to do. 'Cause when we were on the way in, we didn't see an obvious way to get up to that forge. Did we?
No.
I think it was too snowy.
Yeah.
So
okay.
this is kind of what you saw. There probably used to be a bridge that went across, but currently the only like physical structure is the chains that hold it suspended, kind of like brace it.
So only one of us probably could actually get over there, being Chiron, if he made himself a bird.
Right. Yeah, possibly. Now you could climb across these chains. They are like carved out of the stone itself. But that's
Okay.
yeah, this is pretty much like what you saw.
Okay.
Is this outside the entrance of our cave?
Yes, so your cave entrance is this spot right here in the top right.
Okay.
And then you came from up to the top left is kind of where the peaks ran, and that this is that depression that you saw, kind of a little bit of a valley between a few peaks that gave you that protection that you were looking for from the storm.
Ward says to Koli and Nova, I sense you know more about this area than you're letting on.
If something built that forge out there, this could just be the entrance to a dwarven city. I would see what's further in.
Did I? So when I was
Right.
in that little guy's head, did I see like an exit inside? Did I see any other doors in there, or did I just see the room at large? Like
the room at large, you saw some cracks in the ice, which is like where these little things kind of live.
Yeah. Okay.
That's pretty much it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't see a door, but it doesn't mean there isn't one. I'm all for going in there. I know Delyaries is hungry for that goal. I know Flux was knee deep, so I mean, if we have time, I don't think anybody's in or out of the store. It's a snow day, guys. I saw our school district come up on the little the ticker on the bottom TV screen. Yeah, I'm all for it. If you guys want to, I'm open to any of it. I want to know what the fuck's going on right here. So let's do it. Let's go back in there and see what we can figure out. And if there's anything to figure out inside, if not, we can maybe spend some time looking around that forge situation, since it's kind of right outside. Whether or not we get over there, yeah, I'm all for it. So if that's what the group wants to do,
you guys want to explore the forge, or do you want to explore the cave?
The cave. I was just saying, like, you know, if we don't find anything in here, we could go out there too, like, you know, whatever. But yeah, I'm all for doing whatever you guys want to do. And since I it's not crazy weather inside the cave, I guess that's a good place to start.
I don't think Chiron's in any shape to be venturing outside yet.
I agree. I agree. So I will hand each of you a good berry, a fresh, not Chiron's good berry, a fresh, regular, quality good berry. So you each have one on your person, and that will last you for 24 hours. And I say, shall we?
Remind me what the good berries do again.
It's just it gives you one HP, and it also sustains you for a day. So if we were in a situation where we're tracking resources like food, if we were in that kind of situation, it could also sustain you for a day.
Nice.
But the most practical use in most campaigns is a quick way to stay at 1 HP. Like it's
Nice.
essentially a stay alive booster.
Yeah. Stay alive.
So it's pretty handy like that. It's not meant to heal you up. It's more just meant to keep you alive. Yes. So that's the long explanation of that. But yeah. So Delyaries, I feel like you're the most chomping at the bit. So if you want to lead the way into the cave, I've described to you what I saw. And Jeremy, I would like to say that if possible, that I spent a little bit of time just sketching out what I saw, even if it was just flashes and because with my cartography tool, just kind of like sketching it out in a notebook.
Sure.
And
that's reasonable.
I'll just give her that if she wants to take the lead. So I know she's chomping at the bit to get in there, and Ward is a little indifferent given all the circumstances, and ready to just go with the group. I think that's cool if she wants to lead that. And
okay.
I mean, I don't want to make you do it, Delyaries, but
no, that's fine. But only question is, are we all coming at the same time? Like we're all following the leader type thing, or is Chiron staying put, or is he coming with us?
I'm here.
All right.
Perfect timing.
All right.
We could have some. Does somebody want to stay for a lookout, or Flux? I look over at Levi and I wink at him. And I say, Flux, maybe your little friends could keep watch out here. I don't know. How far away can you do that? Is that a thing?
I can have him do anything, but I only can communicate with him if he's within 100 feet.
So you're saying that you can make him do whatever you want. And I don't say that out loud. I'm not going to stoke those flames. Well, it's up to you. I was just saying if nobody wants to stay behind.
I can cast alarm at the entrance or something.
Oh,
like
shit.
that.
You got a thing like that?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. That's a great idea.
Okay, I'll do that then.
I'll also have Levi stay behind.
And I will make myself look like Zook. I'm just kidding.
So I guess I take lead and we start walking, kind of retracing our steps from before and walking through the corridors that we already recognized, and then coming around. At some point I want to start looking at the walls. Wherever I start noticing that weird like pattern, I kind of want to take a look again as I'm starting to approach any kind of patterned walls and just see if I can see anything from the site without a torch right now, the site that I have.
Okay. Go ahead, and I think at this point you've already explored it. You've got the map from Ward, so I don't think you need a perception check. So I think maybe just, and I'll leave this up to you, I guess. If you want to do nature or investigation, I think both of those would be checks that you could do. Each one might give you slightly different information, I guess, depending on what you're looking for.
I'm thinking that I'm trying to look to see if I can recognize any type of like, there is a pattern, but do I recognize any kind of maybe a geological pattern? So I don't know, that might be nature. Not sure. Like, does it look like a normal, I mean, we already see that there's some kind of a pattern, but is this like a pattern of like a, the way a quartz rock would have a pattern, or is this something else, like something that shouldn't be in a cave?
Yeah, why don't you roll nature then?
Okay.
Yeah, because I think that would help you kind of discern. Investigation would be finding more information, but nature would help you discern what it might be.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God. 3.
Yeah, it's very different, and it's certainly a different form than most of the ice around you, because most of the walls of these chambers are very large facets that have frozen quite smooth, where this other pattern that's kind of set within seems to have a very different structure to it. But yeah, as far as like trying to discern what caused it or anything like that, you're kind of at a loss.
Okay.
Yeah.
She just kind of mentioned, because she had her turn, so she kind of looks back at the group and just mentions, did any of you notice anything unusual about these walls?
Do we? I mean, I'll take a look, but I don't know if I'm the best
So
for that, but I guess I will.
With your previous perception checks, investigations, I think at this point you've kind of exhausted everything that you might be able to gain from it, unless you start changing the circumstances at which you are engaging. So you need to start messing with the ice or using light or changing the situation, changing the environment in some way to benefit you, because at this point, like your dark vision is giving you some, right? And you're trying to look closer, you're trying to gauge what's going on, but you're just not getting anything more. So you continuing in this is not going to give you any.
Well, I'll take out. So when we get in there, if I feel like it's at least empty of anything imminently dangerous, I will take out a torch, and as she's looking out, I will take out a torch, throw it in the middle, and I'll actually just start drawing out some of the stuff I see and some of the pattern I see in my notebook with the cartograph. As I map, I make I take the copy back from her, I make a new one or whatever, and I start just making a copy. But I don't know what else I would do, because I don't really have anything else to affect it outside of some light.
You bring the torch up to the wall?
I can. I was just gonna put it in the middle, because I wonder if Flux or Nova or somebody or Koli or better can have other things to make more light.
So what is Koli doing right now? What are you doing?
Well, I don't have dark vision, so I'm just kind of feeling around the walls right now. So I'm gonna take out a torch and light it.
Okay.
Right, so now there's 2 torches going.
Okay, so you've got a little bit more light. You're certainly getting more of those reflections off of the ice.
I want to go along the walls, get a better look at the design, and see if there's maybe any writing or any non-natural pattern to it, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, so this time I think investigation check for Koli would make sense. And Nova, while he's doing that, what are you doing?
What can I do?
I mean, you're a researcher, this is your bread and butter.
Rolled a 9.
Okay. I think you are you're finding the same thing that Ward and Delyaries found, but you're still unable to kind of figure out what it is, or be able to see enough of it to make a guess. Yeah.
What exactly? So we have a pattern or whatever. What exactly we're trying to figure out? What
the significance of these patterns are? What's going on in here? If there's anything more to this story, it seems like there is, but we can't quite put our finger on it.
Have I ever, can I roll like a history check to see if I've ever seen patterns like this before?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Researcher.
21.
There we go.
Nice. You have seen this sort of pattern before. It is very similar to the scales of a fish or of a reptile. Like that sort of pattern is like the scalloped edges of a layer of scales.
Feels like a dragon, huh?
That's what I thought.
Yeah. So probably not a lot of fish up here. Are there any, do we know if there's any like rivers through the mountains that this could potentially be like a pictograph of or something like that?
It would be difficult to tell right now with everything frozen. And you know that this mountain range has like the peaks of it have been frozen for as long as anybody can remember. So it's possible that it's like there might have been an ancient river passing through here, but unlikely.
But more likely a dragon.
Nova, are you sharing this discovery with us, or are you just thinking about it as you're realizing?
I get the sense that Nova is a thinks out loud type of person.
Yeah, as she's saying stuff about like fish or whatever, I look at Delyaries and go, huh?
Like she's looking at the stuff, like putting her hands on it, and it's like these kind of, this kind of reminds me of maybe like fish scales. The pattern is, the layered and scalloped, sort of like that, and that's what it kind of reminds me of. But are there any fish that would be like that?
I imagine as you're having that conversation, one of those tiny little lizards like skitters by, and so that like brings you into reptile. Like you go from fish into reptile because of that.
Yeah.
So
Should we be putting out our torches, you guys, if this wall is not a wall, but the side of a dragon, a sleeping dragon, a frozen dragon? Do we even know if it's a dragon? We're not sure.
Wait, is there a dragon in here?
This is not a regular
I look up from my
wall.
little notebook that I was like kind of sketching out as much as I could.
You were sketching ice, and then you're erasing and starting to sketch like scales.
About
Keep going
how
around
about-
with the torch to see if it's maybe a carving of a dragon.
Yeah.
Did Ward share his convo with the little guy?
Yes,
I did.
Yeah,
I did.
Said that there was
maybe something else.
There were bigger things in here,
but it wasn't super clear. Is what I said to you. I was like, it just said yes, but not super clear. But we had looked, so I knew it wasn't like on our backs at the moment. So I felt like we were okay. But like, yes, I did share that.
And now we have patterns reminiscent of scales. So.
Mm-hmm. So what are you saying?
Guys, scales, gold, mountain.
This is it's a bank, really. I mean, they got to weigh the gold somehow. This is scales and gold.
Yeah.
And how about Chiron? What are you doing during this?
Yeah, so I was going to do a similar thing that Nova did, because I've spent some time in forges such as this. I assume this is technically the forge still. Would you call it that?
So this
Or
is
like-
simply an ice cavern.
Okay.
Yeah. Mhm.
Forge on the side.
The forge like on the side.
Yeah,
I
the
think it's
the
outside.
forge is actually outside. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay. How high is
Oh,
this?
yeah, shit. We didn't
How
even
high
ask
is the
that.
cavern?
Yeah.
The entrance is pretty small. It's
Mhm.
not going to be any taller than maybe like 8 to 10 feet tall. But the cavern does get larger. This main portion that you're in right now has a ceiling that extends beyond where your where your dark vision and like torchlight can kind of see. So and you are like you've been sloped downwards into it. It's not a severe slope or anything. You haven't gone that deep, but you know that outside the mountains kind of rise above it. So you're certainly like under snow and ice.
Okay. So first thing I like to do is cast dark vision on myself.
Okay.
Um,
Good
and
start.
then if you're willing, because it's like this is like kind of two actions, to let me cast spider climb.
Yeah, I think that. I mean, like everybody else is kind of, taking their time investigating, lighting torches and things. Like certainly.
And then I'd like to start climbing up to see how far this goes.
Okay, so you start climbing the walls and
literally climbing the walls of this place if you get it.
and you are able to. I mean, I think despite having a climb speed, it's still difficult for you.
Okay.
Like because of the smoothness of the ice surfaces that you're trying to climb, you're able to do so. It's just more difficult than what you anticipated, and you're able to get up. And I think with that height, you're able to kind of find a peak that's maybe you find very quickly. So it's maybe at like 65 or 70 feet along the edges. And then you're climbing up, and now you're seeing pretty clearly that it tops out at about 90 feet.
Okay.
There, and the ceiling is almost looks like a crystal chandelier. Some of these ice crystals have formed that hang down, kind of like stalactites, and form an uneven roof to the structure.
Okay, I'd like to return to the group and relay this information.
Okay. All right. I will have. Let's see. I think Chiron, you're going to be the one from that vantage point climbing up. I will have you roll a perception check as well. See if you can pick up at like any other details or information while you're crawling around up near the top.
20.
Dirty 20. Okay. I think that with that, you are going to see a coil of these scales high up in the ceiling. And as you make your way down, kind of paying attention to them, you see a change in the size and pattern of those scales. And then you see a very large, round scale of pure white.
Oh, no.
And as you are kind of moving
Jesus.
past it, you realize that it is most likely an eye socket with an eye that is currently closed.
Oh, no.
And you can see the head of what appears to be a very large serpent of some kind within the ice.
So how close am I to this?
Um, you are on the other side of the ice. You
Oh,
cannot
Jesus.
tell if it is centimeters beneath beneath that ice or feet. You're not entirely sure, but it is within the ice.
And I'm still hanging kind of off the
Yeah.
roof.
Yeah.
Ceiling, excuse me. Seems safe. Okay, well, I'm gonna freeze. First thing I think I would do is freeze and kind of stare. And oh man, what I think the best way to get down is I'm gonna let go, and then in midair I'd like to wild shape.
Okay, what kind of wild
So
shape?
dramatic. So dramatic.
I mean, the easiest way to get down certainly into just like a falcon.
Okay. Go ahead and make a charisma save as you drop from the ceiling, trying to be as quiet as possible, not disturbing the ice, and you start transforming into a falcon.
I'm gonna use my coin.
Okay.
Oh no.
That bad, huh?
Yeah. 9.
Oh my god.
All right.
Totally worth it.
You you start shifting into the bird form, and you don't quite get all the way there. Your body stops mid-transformation. So you have shrunk down to about half your size. You've taken on a beak. Most of your skin is covered in feathers at this point. One of your legs is transformed into the bird leg, but you still have like the torso, and one of your arms and a portion of one of your hands is still Goliath. And you are going to hit the ground fairly
Jesus.
heavily. And you're going to take 15 damage from that fall.
Oh shit.
And definitely wake up this thing. Just kidding.
So as soon as he lands, I'll run over to him and say, "Ew." What the fuck, dude? No,
And as you kind of like suffer that damage, like you hit that ice hard. You definitely leave some cracks in it, and then you finish your transformation into your like falcon form. You kind of like roll over back onto your feet, and then you can do what you want to. But that has never happened before. Like, as long as you've known how to wild shape, like, it has been like second nature. It's been like a thought, and you would do it. And it might take a few moments to fully transform into whatever animal that you're attempting to mimic. But never like this. Never like this.
And I'm gonna.
What is it, man?
I'm in falcon form, bro.
I say, "Caca." I don't know. You can understand us still, right?
Why don't the rest of you all roll perception?
23.
14.
9.
12.
19.
Okay. Delyaries, you notice that Chiron looks a little disheveled. The rest of you notice that he looks like he's molting. Like, there's a lot of feathers missing. You can see like lesions on his bird skin. He looks like in bad shape. Like it would be odd for him to transform into a shape of a sickly bird. That doesn't make much sense.
Chiron, can you change back?
You're grossing us out.
You're really weird right now.
Stop doing that.
Stop this is weird shit, dude.
Yeah, I'm just standing there in falcon form. I'll change back into Chiron form.
Okay.
Does he look normal now?
It takes a few moments for him to shift back into Chiron form, but
what happened?
He appears to do it like normal.
What happened?
And
is this another you fell?
I immediately put my finger to my lips. And I point upwards. And I whisper ever so quietly, "Dragon." Whisper.
Draconis majoris. Whatever. Yeah.
We all look up.
Oh. Can we see up there, or is it dark? It's dark up there, right?
It is dark up there. Yeah.
Fuck. Okay. Is that what caused your bird stuff?
Nova is going to start walking back towards the entrance.
Oh yeah, good idea.
Why are we also talking?
Okay.
Well, I don't know if he's insane. We can't see up there. He came down. He looks like a molting bird. Like, what the fuck's going on? You know what I mean?
Was he frozen,
safety.
or was he? Could you tell if he was sleeping or just frozen? Eyes closed.
Flux could always shoot a fireball up there so we could see better.
Yeah, he's got scorching ray.
Can we do that? Okay, I'll do that.
Where are we standing? Are we just right where I landed? Still just having this conversation like
Yeah, so kind of in the middle of this cavern. Nova is like, I'm out. And she like spins on her heel and immediately walks out of this, or starts walking out of this cavern.
So Delyaries, as you ask me that, I'll say ice dragon behind the ice. And then I'm going to start following Nova as well.
I will also do that.
Okay. How about Koli? Same.
Yeah, I'll kind of back out, like looking around, kind of intrigued, but still staying with the group.
Okay. And Flux.
Yeah. Again, yeah. Same.
Okay. All right. And Delyaries too?
She stands for an extra moment. Not exactly wanting to leave, but realizing that this is something that is probably not good for the group. So she walks like last in line, but when she gets to that little mini pit that Flux created, she kind of kicks at it with her foot, just hoping a poem will pop out, and then just walks past it.
Okay.
Can Flux on his way out? I can't see up there, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you want to do something? Fireball. Somebody has light or something? Is there a light spell in this group that somebody can toss up there? I mean,
I have the dancing lights thing.
I have the light spell, but I also, if there is in fact a dragon up there, I imagine a bright shining light in its face would not do well.
Does anybody want to just go and explore that forge and let's leave this dragon?
Now, I have a question. I have not used.
No. We're gonna do this, Delyaries. That was a terrible idea.
What was that, Flux?
Sorry. I was reading. I've never done True Strike. I don't think. Well, maybe once or twice before. But is that something I could cast on something without it knowing?
Yes.
Okay. And it would glean me some insights into the target's defenses. And I don't know exactly what that means.
Yeah. So basically,
would you tell me if it's alive or dead?
let's see here. So I know it grants you it grants you advantage on your next attack, right? Like
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It says grants me a brief insight into the target's defenses. Yeah. I don't know. No matter what that means, but yeah, essentially get advantage. But
I do believe in the good berry gang. Okay. Just want to say that up top. I believe in us.
thanks. I think we need that.
I also think together, if we coordinate something, I don't know how powerful this fucking thing is. I don't know if it's like an ancient dude or it's like whatever, because we haven't seen it. Chiron's the only one that's seen it.
Of all the people, like of all the characters,
But I do think if we do coordinate, we could at least have an escape plan if it goes bad. You know what I'm saying? Like if it was like clearly like we're fucked, maybe we could coordinate an escape plan. So maybe Delyaries, maybe you're right about looking at the forge first, coming in here, fucking shit up. And then if it goes haywire, trying to get the hell out of here.
At least if we look at the forge, we'll be closer to the exit.
Yeah. All I know is I am now metagame, I will tell you. Very curious about this damn dragons. Like I'll say, okay, so what would Ward do? Ward would probably be like task at hand. He's a little bit more pragmatic in that situation, in this type of situation. So he would probably say like, Delyaries, yes, let's go someplace we can at least have a conversation without thinking we're gonna get fucking immolated immediately or frozen to death or whatever. So he would, continue to walk out with like Nova's suggestion, like continue to go like back out to like relative safety or at least outside of earshot. So that's what Ward would do, and all along the way agreed at maybe at least seeing if we can check out the forge given the weather concerns. So that's where Ward's at.
As we're walking out, can I shine my torch on the ground and see if we see any frozen skeletons or anything?
Yeah. Go ahead and go and roll another. Yeah, roll another investigation check as you're exiting, taking a closer look at the floor.
Got to get rid of this exhaustion. 3.
Sure looks like ice. Definitely ice. And there's it kind of looks like there's some coins still down there. That's basically what you're getting out of this. Yeah.
As I trip over my own feet.
Well, I will ask the group. I can talk to one of these little fuckers again for a second and ask if the thing ever wakes up. But in the meantime, we can go out and investigate this forge if you guys want. See if we can figure out a way across there. You guys want me to do that, or do you want to do something else?
Is there any kind of
something else?
Do we notice any kind of like, aside from the chains that are holding the forge, is there any kind of other entrance that we can notice? Like maybe we can send. I know I can see the picture, but can we see that like opening at the very top of the forge from our vantage point or not? Because we can send Levi maybe to just. You can. Fly over.
Yes, okay, there is a dull orangish glow coming from the center of that pedestal, which from your time in Kholdim you would recognize as the glow of a forge.
A forge that is still firing.
Mm-hmm.
What is keeping that thing firing?
Well, you would also, from your time in Kholdim, you could make a pretty good assumption that this is of dwarven construction.
Yeah.
And that most likely there is also a bound fire elemental to it, which would provide that kind of like ever burning power, that strength.
So I will look at Flux and say, Flux, we need to get over there. Talk to this. Maybe there's an ally. Are you willing?
Presumably there's a entire dwarven city beneath us, right? Is this something we should
or there used to be? Either way. Although, how does the contract work? Like if the city falls, they're not bound to it? Isn't that what Severson's thing was?
That's what Severson's was, but
we don't know if this guy had the same contract.
Right. That was Kholdim's contract with Severson, but there's possibility that there were different agreements made. And it could be that this fire elemental was bound against its will.
So given that, I think Flux, I mean, Ward would be very motivated to talk to this, to get to that forge now. And he would express that to the group and most vociferously to Flux.
What's the goal? What do we want from him?
Do you think this fire elemental could help us battle this ice dragon?
Or maybe it knows something about the ice dragon, some kind of history.
Or
maybe we need the ice dragon to battle the elemental.
Maybe. But Flux, you carry a little bit of weight sometimes. Assuming it's friendly.
Flux, are you proposing Flux go seek out the elemental? Try to communicate?
Well, I don't know how close he needs to get to speak to it. Flux and I can both speak primordial, but Flux would be the leader in that situation because he's because of where he's from. And the more of us can get over, the better. The main issue is actually just the physically getting over there, obviously.
Yeah, we need to figure out how we're gonna get ropes, or I don't know exactly how we're gonna get over
Flux
there.
would love to parkour over those.
Well, if Flux is gonna do it,
Yeah.
I will take. Well, actually, I guess Jeremy, what is the? I mean, he can do that. I mean, I'm not trying to stop him doing that. So for the rest of us that aren't going to do that, those chains are like massive chains, right? They're like gargantuan chains, right? Like, what's the like? Do they look treacherous to walk over, or does it look like? Had a? Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, they're interlocking links now. While they are pretty taut, they are not completely solid.
Yeah.
And they're certainly, swaying a bit in the current weather, in the high winds. So
I have an idea. Flux. If everybody's amenable, you take the lead. Who has rope?
I have rope.
I have rope, as always.
Do
any of you, Chiron, Koli, Nova, do you have rope?
I don't think I have rope.
I do not.
I do.
I have spider climb.
Does anyone have a grappling hook?
Chiron has spider climb. That's true. Well, so this was my idea, just to tie a length of rope around Flux. We all stay here as a counterbalance in case he falls. We have a hold on him. Although Chiron does have spider climb and it's currently active, correct?
Yeah, it's good for an hour, I think.
Correct.
So Chiron can go there. So I say Chiron and Flux go over there. And Flux, I mean, anybody else is willing, whatever, but.
And we've already established that Chiron can carry Flux.
Oh, shit. That's right. Okay. Well, now we have, I say do those things.
Is that really just to scout out? Like they can see if they can see inside the entrance, see what they see.
Yeah, and they can tell us if we need to come over or not. Like if it's worth us coming over. Like that's the good first step, I think.
Yeah.
But I don't want to. I want to go over too because I'm obviously curious. But like I'm perfectly happy to stay here, just sort of like whatever.
What say you, Chiron, to that plan?
I gotta know why that. Yeah, I gotta know why this bridge is out. Now, Chiron is naturally interested, maybe a little bit morbidly so because it is a dwarf forge.
Yeah.
And maybe because you guys are interested. So, Chiron is interested. He just hopes he doesn't get sick on the way over and have a "I don't feel so good, Mr. Stark" moment.
Oh no!
Just falls off the chain.
Yeah, oh man! And then we all have to say we lost the kid. We lost the old man.
We lost the old man. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's literally nothing I can do to help you except to just say, "Go get him, Tigers."
All right. Well, I mean, if you want to do that, I'm going to say that Chiron, you with spider climb, you're able to climb across that with minimal effort. It is cold. It is windy, but you are resistant to cold. And Flux, with the warmth of your body, the two of you are able to get over to that pillar fairly quickly with minimal risk. And when you get there, you can see that there is the forge in the center of the pillar, still glowing, like I said, with that dull orange. And you see an anvil with a hammer next to it.
Right. And I peek my head in.
Okay. You feel the kind of that blast of heat on your face as you look down.
Hello.
I knew that was coming.
Is anybody down there?
And
in
the heat,
primordial.
Yeah, in primordial. Yeah. And you feel that heat kind of shift for a moment, and then it draws back and becomes kind of a brighter yellow tone, and you can see far down, probably from that distance, you're guessing about 50 or 60 feet, a small fire elemental kind of takes a roughly, again, very similar to how Severson did, takes on a roughly humanoid form.
Nice.
Within that swirl of fire, and it kind of coalesces and it stares up at you and looks confused.
Who are you and who do you serve?
I am Scald. I serve Frost Hall.
Is Frost Hall this city?
Yes. Or, judging by the last time that someone has been here, was a city.
And why do you remain?
And it moves to the side, and you can see a chain attached to the base of this forge. Appears to be bound to it.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Well, see it.
oh, that sucks. Okay, bye. I understand. I would start climbing down into the forge.
Okay. How are you going to
And
do
if
that?
I need to cast spider climb on myself.
You have spider climb too.
Oh, you suck. He just wanted to be carried by.
I know he did. That's so funny. All right, Flux, you were able to cast spider climb. You were able to climb into this this shaft that leads downwards to the base of the forge, where Scald resides. I am going to have you make a a Constitution save as you approach, because you are like you're directly in contact at this point with like the heat coming off of a fire elemental. Now this is not anywhere close to the strength and force that Severson has. Severson was a quite powerful fire elemental, one who alone could power an entire city. This one is considerably smaller, not as intense as Severson, but it's still really hot.
All right. And as I'm climbing down, I would say, quell your flame as much as you can. I come to help. And I get a 9.
Okay. All right. So you are you're going to take some damage. So this is going to be halved because of your resistance. So you're going to take 3 fire damage as you're crawling down. As you're doing this, I want to go back over to everyone else except for Chiron. So the other 4 of you are on this platform, looking out at Chiron and Flux, who get there, and like immediately they both look around. Flux kind of leans over, and there's like a burst of orange and yellow light, of this forge that kind of blasts past his head. You hear this really weird snapping, popping, crackling, hissing noise come from him, and then he immediately just like it looks like he cast some kind of spell, and then he just like dives right into the forge.
Do I hear? Because I understand primordial. Do I hear what he said? Do I from where I'm at?
No, you would not. Like you would just kind of hear that he was speaking, but again, the storm is still kind of going on,
it's raging
around you.
Yeah.
So you're like, you're seeing them through the snow and the wind.
Yeah.
It's kind of whipping around you.
So I'll just tell them. I'll just tell, like, I mean, I don't know what we're gonna do, but I'll just tell Nova, Koli, and Delyaries, like, I don't know what the fuck he's doing. He was just talking to him. That's primordial, but I can't make out what he's saying.
Yeah, but did he have to jump in?
No, it's Flux. That's fucking Flux. Is Levi around?
You do not see Levi.
Oh, he's in the cave. I had him stay
Okay.
He's keeping watch on Dumple.
Okay.
So who's still there, by the way?
He's
Just a reminder.
Yeah.
But I will have Ward, Delyaries, Koli, and Nova all roll perception.
Natural 20.
Natural
Second one of the day.
20.
Oh, hell
Wow,
yes.
what?
This is good.
Okay.
Whenever I roll that 20, somebody else does
A
apparently.
17. A
So
17.
that's a 30
Natural
total.
1.
All right.
Koli's just freaked out because Flux
Yeah.
jumped in.
Koli's a little worried about Flux right now. And actually, Chiron, why don't you roll perception as well? And I think you still have disadvantage, but
Yeah.
we'll see how that goes.
8.
8. Okay. All right. So Koli and Chiron, you don't notice anything out of the ordinary, but Ward and Nova. Actually, I'll say Delyaries, you notice a bird flying overhead. Ward and Nova, you notice this bird as well as 2 figures on a ridge, and they seem to be looking down on you right now.
We're not alone. I've tried to shoot the bird out of the sky.
Go ahead and roll attack.
Natural fucking 20. This is the best rolling dice of my life, and it's not going to be in the middle of a fucking cool ass combat.
I mean, that was an attack.
Yeah. So
This is combat.
Well, I guess technically yes, but you know what I mean. Like, I'll use this, and then next week we'll be in some big combat.
Yep.
Like, you know what I mean, and I'll be
bird.
rolling all ones. So that'd be 20, whatever, 20, 30, 29, 30,
Okay.
30.
I will let you retroactively say that you were using sharpshooter if you'd like.
Oh, I'd love to say that.
Okay. All right. Because I like you've been using it quite a bit lately, so that's
Yeah,
why.
yeah. I pretty much generally use it unless I'm in a situation where I know I have to act. I really have to hit. But
All right,
anyway.
go ahead and roll that. Go ahead and roll that damage as you like
Okay.
quickly draw an arrow, track this bird, release your arrow. It goes up and strikes it.
Okay, so 6, 12. So that's double 12 plus 4 is 16 plus 10 is 26 damage.
Double the whole thing.
Well, so I rolled a 6 plus 4 is 10.
Mhm.
Oh, so it's so it's actually 20. I don't add my proficient. You just double your dice roll though, right?
Right. Yep.
So it's 12 plus 4, which is 18.
Mhm.
Plus 10 is 28.
Got it. Okay. So 28 damage. And again, Ward, Delyaries, and Nova, you all hear that arrow hit the bird, and it is not a like a thud or a slapping sound of a blade hitting flesh. It is a clang, as if his
Okay.
arrow had just hit something made of metal.
Okay.
And the bird kind of like you see a burst of small shrapnel that kind of comes out of it, and then it immediately just crashes into the ground, just like goes still in the air and then tumbles and smashes into the snow and kind of disappears from sight. You see where it landed, but you can't see it because it's sunk into the snow essentially.
Yeah. As soon as I fire, I'll look at Nova and Koli and Delyaries and I'll say, double.
And as you say dumble, you hear the sound of a war horn coming from that ridge.
Fuck.
Oh my
And I
God.
think that's where we'll end it.
Oh my God.
That's what I thought.
I go in and I execute that little motherfucker.
Was that from Dumble?
No, that did not come
No.
from the cave. It came from the ridge.
But
Okay.
I will
Yeah.
say, like metagame, it occurs to me. It occurred to me like as Flux was doing that, or when you said Dumble was still in the cave.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit! I hope they don't have something like a locate person or some locate object bullshit, because they could track us through him. And I don't know if that's what they've done, right? And obviously this is a pretty big beacon. Like this is an area that we were going and whatever. But like,
Ugh, we should have left Dumple outside.
we should have fucking dropped him off the side of the fucking mountain.
Wait, so we're 2 men down, right? Because Flux is in the forge, and then Chiron is also in the forge? Or is he at the top?
He's on that pillar,
Okay.
but he's not aware of what's going on until
Oh.
that war horn goes off. So
Okay.
all of you will hear that. That is
Son of a bitch.
yeah, that is an automatic. Unless you are deaf, you will hear that war
Oh,
horn
boy.
go off. So
So we
All
draw
right.
him into the cavern.
Yeah, we wake up the fucking dragon, and we run out. Those guys get fucking frozen to death.
Tame it. I like that.
There's this things at play here, though. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe this fucking fire elemental, even if it's weaker and it can't like affect a massive amount of change, maybe it has information that we can fucking get to safety ASAP or something. Either way, I love where your head's at, Flux. As much as we were like, what the fuck's he doing in game? Out of game, I was like, I love it. I fucking love it. Get in
He's just
there.
gonna have him go stand in the cavern and pick up coins.
Yeah, Delyaries and Flux we'll all be dying, and Delyaries and Flux will might as well get a few coins.
Cha-ching, cha-ching.
Yeah. Holy shit. And you know, like
No, we're screwed.
you
We did fine
know,
last time.
yeah. We just weren't hit full
We're
force
all right.
with
I feel like we're all going to be wanting to jump into that forge now too.
yeah. Yeah, like where there's no other place to go.
Yeah.
In the
Yeah.
cave with a dragon or in the forge
Down the-
melt.
Yeah.
I'll come out and everybody is dead.
With your new fire elemental buddy.
Yeah.
No, we're all just gonna die
Like,
trying
just
to get
wait
over
till you
there.
meet all my friends, man. They're so cool.
How high up is it from the ledge to the ground? Like,
So that is not like level ground beneath that pillar. It's basically like
jagged
mountain
rocks and
mountain
shit.
slope. Yeah. So the closest drop is probably going to be close to 100 feet, and then it just
So
like drops off from there.
You're in bad shape if you fall off in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Oh my gosh. We've got a
You knew they
storm
were
on
gonna
one
come.
side. We've got a ice dragon thing, whatever serpent in the other side. And then now we have this army of who knows what about to come and get us.
At least
I
the
think we
dragon
know.
Yeah.
dragon was asleep.
Yeah, I
Yes.
mean, I'm sure that Warhorn didn't echo.
I was
through
just
that
gonna
cavern.
say that stupid war horn.
Only other question I'll ask is, do we know if white dragons are generally hostile or whatever? Or he described it. I don't even know if he described it actually. You said it was up there, right?
He said dragon. I don't know.
Dragon.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean,
Never
it's in an ice cave, so
Do we know if they're generally hostile? I mean, not that it necessarily matters, because like all bets are off, like in this type of situation. But
Yeah,
Do they hibernate?
They're usually evil.
Okay.
Yeah. And they're always protecting their gold, and they don't like to be disturbed. And they're intelligent. And we're disturbed.
well, different dragons have different motivations and shit, and different, and with these revisions that everybody's all mad about, who knows, And we also don't know if Jeremy's playing this white dragon a little different.
So
maybe Koli and Nova know, but the rest of us don't.
I will say that I just picked this up. So this is great.
You sucking sucker.
So I got it for D&D Beyond when it first came out, but I wanted a hard copy of it, and I picked that up the other day. So
yeah, that's a good idea, because Sly Flourish, who you know who he is, he made me all freaked out about fucking D&D Beyond, just because he's a fan of D&D Beyond, but he was just basically saying, like, everybody's getting all worked up, but you have to understand, D&D Beyond, you don't own those books. You own a license to look at them, and they're, it's like you're using a service. So like, I'm like, fuck, I've spent so much money on those books. Like, if they just disappeared because Wizards of the Coast stopped supporting them or something, I'd be like, oh shit, all those books are gone. Like,
yeah.
So I think it is good to have the physical ones if you want them, but who wants to buy them twice? This will change. This is my prediction over the next 5-10 years. This will change within D&D somehow, some way, shape, or form. I think D&D. I think Wizards of the Coast will do something, either acquisitionally with D&D Beyond, or start their own thing like D&D Beyond.
I think that what they're going to do is their own thing, which, and I'm kind of stunned they haven't already, but
a VTT especially. Even if
they've been putting a lot of resources into their Magic the Gathering D&D crossovers.
Yeah.
That's what their main focus has been for the last like 4 years, probably. So that's what they've been putting a lot of resources into.
It'll be crazy to see though, because D&D Beyond's a big deal now. And it'll just be interesting to see how it develops. I don't know. Who knows? I have no fucking information. Just that I think it'll be interesting to see how it develops. And especially with the VTT space too. Because
more importantly, what are we going to do next time? Oh my God.
No shit. We're going to just have to make some serious decisions. Honestly, a lot of this shit is going to depend on what the fuck happens between Flux and Scald. Whatever happens right there, like, we're going to have to stay alive.
I don't even think we're going to be able to wait for him, though. I mean, things are going to happen.
We may not,
quick.
Maybe we won't. But like I'm saying, after that initial thing, assuming Flux doesn't take forever, because he doesn't usually take forever to do things because he's Flux. He's going to make some big decisions.
Ask questions later.
Right. He's going to make big decisions. So we're going to have to deal with whatever that is ASAP. So what's the worst case scenario? That thing is like an enemy and it comes out and it starts attacking us. It's probably, I don't know why it would attack us any more than it would attack the other things. So at least it's a confusing battlefield for everybody, which maybe is good for us. It's not worse for us necessarily. I don't know. I don't fucking know. I'm talking out of my ass.
I mean, you guys all survived a confusing situation with the fog cloud.
Yeah, that's true. It's true.
Yeah.
So
And you know what? This is the best I've ever rolled in my life, and then next week I'll be rolling all fucking natural ones because it'll be
Right in time for the battle.
yeah.
Time. Oh man.
Holy
So
shit.
with next week, actually, I want to bring this up. I know holidays and everything. I was thinking maybe we don't meet next week, if that's all right with everybody, and then we can come back in a couple weeks and then pick back up. If that's cool.
Yep,
I'm out,
that works.
I'm out the next 2 weeks, so it's the next week, and then the 4th, I think.
The 4th
as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Oh, return to Nivosh.
That's what I want to hear. I'm gonna log on next weekend, the 4th, just because I have a even if you're not Jeremy, I'm just gonna open up the link just to feel like I'm playing D&D. I'm not going anywhere for Christmas, and I'm not doing anything. So for me, I'll just be like, oh, it's Tuesday.
Reminisce about all the adventures you had.
Yes, I'll just be like, yay, I like D&D.
Well, I mean, maybe we'll do something.
No, you don't feel pressured to do anything. I'm just,
I mean, I'm gonna be busy like packing and everything. I'm gonna want something else to do. I just know that all of you probably aren't available.
I'm not doing shit.
I don't have anything going on.
All right. Well, maybe next Tuesday I'll just do something. It won't be this, but we'll do something else. Like I'll just grab another game. We'll play some of that then.
Whatever you, Jeremy.
Yeah.
If you want to do nothing, that is your prerogative.
Yep.
And I will not be upset about it. If you want to do something, I will be here.
Okay, cool. Then let's plan on doing something. It won't be this campaign. It probably won't even be D&D. But we'll play something. So anybody
you're
that's
saying
free
we're
that
gonna
wants
play
to jump.
Pendragon, and we're gonna start a whole new campaign or some other fucking long form bullshit.
We're gonna get into Battle Lords of the 23rd century, which is the largest rule book that I have.
Okay, yeah, whatever the most dense thing is, yeah.
Yeah. So we'll play. I don't know. I'm like I have so many games right now. It's stupid. I've found that I'm not collecting dice anymore. I'm collecting RPGs. So this is like these are all the new ones I've gotten within the last few weeks, like from
I saw your Instagram post,
Kickstarter for fulfillments and
I just bought I just did Scott Sly First is like the Return of the Lazy Dungeon Master, his whole thing. So I like a lot of the way he does his like generation and like the way his prep stuff is. It's like it seems more intuitive, and his like encounter building and stuff. It's very simple.
This one I'm really excited about, Nova. This is from the guy who did Slayers.
Oh shit, yeah.
So
nice.
like some of you have played Slayers.
Yeah.
So this is kind of like the sci-fi version where you play Sparks, which are like sun shard powered mech suits that you like go out into the darkness and fight like monsters on the moon. So
Monster on the Moon. I love Monster on the Moon.
I don't know. It's like So I'm pretty excited about that one.
Yeah, I'll do literally whatever. I don't care. That's all fun to me.
Cool.
Yeah. And I was gonna say, I mean, just to Jeremy specifically, like, if you, with all this stuff going on, and not for next week or whatever, like we're gonna do, but if you ever just need a week where like you're busy because you're moving and stuff like that, I'm more than happy to just like run a one shot or whatever, because I'm want to DM more. So like there's no pressure to like if you feel like something's going on. I know you have a million games you want to run too, so
I
I'm
need
just
this
saying.
too, man.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes you want to play. I assume sometimes I'm trying to say
yeah.
I don't want to take it away from you because I love playing in your games. It's more like as a forever DM, sometimes it's nice to play, and I want to give you that like
cool.
You can always just message me and say like whatever.
I'll probably take you up on that at some point. Yeah, for sure. Because I've had a lot of fun playing yours as well. So yeah.
Cool. And with a baby coming, I feel like I have to DM as much as possible. I've got to do something. That's why I was talking about doing something for my people at work that have mentioned it. But anyway, it's 11. I'm just.
Well, thanks everyone for joining tonight. It was good seeing everybody. I hope you have a great holiday weekend. Weekends coming up. and just stay safe out there. We'll see you soon. And yeah, I'll be doing something the next couple Tuesdays. We won't be doing this, but we'll be doing something. So if you're
Hey, look,
free,
if
you want to jump
Nivoth can
on,
make an appearance in 2 Tuesdays, I will be a very happy man.
I think we might do that. I think we might do Wolfshire to the
I
north.
love it.
in a couple
I
weeks.
really
Yeah.
want to explore
Yeah.
the Nivoth other characters' relationship, whoever that may be, but especially Boss Lady.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I'll make sure I got that one prepped for 2 weeks. For that will be our first episode of the new year. Then when
Awesome.
we come back, we'll do
Love
a
it.
session in Wolfshire. So
And Chris, you can have fun in Puerto Rico while we're pretending to be fantasy folks.
awesome. All right, everyone, have a great night. Stay safe, and we'll see you soon.
Awesome.
Bye.
Thanks.
All right.
Happy
Bye,
holidays.
guys.
Happy holidays, guys.
Holidays.